What is going on, gentlemen? It's the one and only Sir Yeetus. I know it's been a couple of days, but now I'm back. I'm back with a vengeance. I've been working on a bunch of shorts. You guys gonna be seeing some shorts today. Yeah, you guys thought I forgot about that? Yeah, you guys gonna be seeing some good stuff today. Yeah. Hopefully you guys are having a good Wednesday. Let's see what you guys are doing. Let me look at the chat. Hopefully you guys like the new tunes. I found them randomly a few days ago. I thought it was great. I thought it was amazing. I said, hey, we got to mix up the music a bit, you know. And thanks to Gray, I'm able to make that happen. I expect even more jams. I expect it. But before we begin this topic today, because I believe it is very important to talk about this, if you want to support your boy Sir Yeetus or the Warband, go ahead and donate by clicking the links on top of the chat to paypal.me/Yeetus or just Cash App Yeetus. Either way, all donations are greatly appreciated. Okay. I'm still trying to get that money from freaking YouTube that you guys donated through super chats. And once I get it, expect even greater things for this channel. You guys are too generous with the donating. I appreciate you guys supporting the Warband and supporting this. Definitely gives me the drive to keep going because the grind never stops, does it? It never stops for the Warband. But let me add in Gray right quick so we can begin this topic. What's going on, Gray?
Evening Warband. Got a bit extra time on my hands, so take it at some of my old art stuff. So who knows? Maybe I'll get to pop out a tune for the channel soon.
Well, hell, if we're able to also get even more pixel art, because the pixel art you did in the background it's phenomenal. Like, you did a phenomenal job, bro.
Not taking it off the table. Yeah, see if I can think of something.
But let us begin, shall we? So today's topic for today is Simps enable her bad behavior. What do you mean, Sir Yeetus? Well, let me just get it out the way, the two differences between allowing and enabling. Okay. Allowing is just pretty much not doing a thing, or you just, whatever happens, happens. You're going to let that person do what he wants and you're not going to interfere. Enabling is encouraging that person to keep going. Am I wrong, Gray? Because there's
let's
difference between those two.
let's see if we were to give it take it to a different sort of thing. Say someone has a food addiction.
All right.
Allowing them is not stopping them from eating. Enabling them is giving them food.
Yeah. So there's a difference, chat. There's a big difference. Okay. So why I'm saying this right now is because when it comes to a woman's bad behavior, the simps are the ones that are enabling their behavior. And I'll get to it. And you guys pretty much already know, but we're just gonna rehash it again. But men, we are not allowing this to happen. No. At this point in our society, because of how society views men in the state, we have no choice.
Well, that's the thing. We are allowing it, but that's because, like, the choice is, do we hold women accountable and risk our lives, risk prison time, further involvement with the state, and for what benefit?
I agree. When it comes to a man, quote unquote, allowing, no, this isn't by choice. This isn't by go ahead and do whatever dumb shit you want to do, ladies. No. Any time that we put our foot down, like what Gray just said, there's a huge chance of us getting our lives ruined worst comes to worst, our lives ended. Oh, it happens. Oh, it definitely happens. Because why? She has a state and an army of Simps and White Knights on her side that are willing to do whatever it takes to get within 50 yards of that puniti. Have you guys heard about the various stories? I don't know if it's in your neighborhood or, in your area where you have a young woman that's tired of her husband or tired of her parents, and then she will get her boyfriend or some type of simp to take the fall and yeet the husband, aka a hitman, or yeet the parents, aka a hitman.
Oh
So
heck, I've straight up heard like women calling a domestic in, and then when the cop comes to the door, the boyfriend ambushes and yeets the cop.
is that yeah, or vice versa. Vice versa. If a man puts his foot down in his household, she's able to call the cops to come over, saying that, oh, he's acting crazy, he's belligerent, oh, I fear for my life. And that man that wanted her to stop disrespecting him, disrespecting his household, there's a good possibility he'll be yeeted by the cops. A bullet to the dome.
How much you want to bet that given the choice between an active shooting and a domestic, a cop would rather respond to an active shooting?
Uh, Active shooting, yeah, because
Yeah.
the domestic is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. And when it comes to the allowing thing, gentlemen, I know that we ourselves we don't allow because we don't allow anything. It's the fact that we technically don't have a choice if we want to preserve our safety and lifestyle. I completely understand that. Okay, there's no way in hell a man is willingly going to be disrespected, mentally, physically abused, embarrassed in front of the whole world. Uh, his kids thinks that he's a joke, and she's running around with Chad and Tyrone 24/7. No sane man will allow that. It's the fact that our hands are tied.
No, it's funny because I heard with regards to a bunch of God, how do I work this around? Let's say land being stolen. Let's go with like stuff being stolen from the citizens. Someone said, "Well, you shouldn't wait for like election time to try and vote people out. When someone steals from you, like you just punch them out then and there and deal with them." I'm like, uh-huh. Yeah, but when it's a dude who's got a foot in height from you, a large gang all armed to the teeth with weapons, when he steals your wallet, you don't can step to him because that's how you end up in the ground.
Unless you have a lethal firearm, there's nothing you can do.
No,
Nothing.
and that's the thing. Like, I'm not talking like it's not 1v1 here. It's like
Yeah, yeah,
1v20,
yeah.
and they're all armed to the teeth.
So even when you have a lethal firearm, there's only so many bullets for everybody, so you're screwed either way. So what do you do? Some battles you just can't win. Okay. As a man, you need to understand that. Some
Yeah.
battles you're just gonna have to
You take the L
retreat.
and you learn to avoid the situation in the future.
You'll be able to fight for another day.
Because like, there's
Okay.
some shit that's just not worth dying over.
I do not want to surround myself with people thinking that they can overcome everything with brute force because I'm manly man. No, that type of person will get you killed.
Yeah, they're the type of guys who are going to pick fights and get you involved. Like they're going to pick a fight that they can't win, and then they're going to get you killed in the process.
This is why I say this applies to modern women too, gentlemen, because that very same woman, and I explained this a few weeks ago in a different live stream, that very same woman will get you killed, okay? Because don't be simping for these females, and then she's like, don't pull a Will Smith in the club when a woman says, "Oh, he just called me a bad name. You just gonna let him do that, huh? Is that what a real man? You just gonna let him do that?" And then you want to put on your big boy pants and put your hands on the dude. Turns out that he's a whatever 11th degree black belt, and he's with 10 of his homies, and they drag your ass outside and beat your ass to the point where you're in the hospital or 6 feet under, all because you wanted, all because she didn't like what another dude said.
Well,
You're
and the other thing is, it's not necessarily like that guy even said it unprovoked. She can straight up flirt with a dude, and then if he goes, fuck, he'll like she might be straight up baiting him, or the guy goes like 1 inch too far beyond. And then she calls up the homeboys, like, bitch, you were grinding on his fucking junk. And then he touches your shoulder and you go get your fucking homeboys. Fuck you.
Yep. It gets to that point. And once again, gentlemen, how many times do I have to say it? There's women out here, plenty of women out here that would do that out of amusement. They want to see drama. Okay. Take off the rose colored goggles or whatever it's called and see it for what it is. There's some heinous fucking females out there that will get you hurt or killed just because she thinks it's funny. She thinks it's amusing. And she knows she can get away with it. You need to be able to see things for what it is, which is why, the red pill is important. And if she's over there grinding with other dudes and she's supposed to be with you, don't freak out. Don't get angry. It is what it is. She wants to return back into the streets. Don't get mad. Nothing. Just put block her number, ghost her, and God forbid if for some reason you live with that chick, right? Yeet her shit out the fucking window. Okay. Because I don't even recommend living with a woman in the first place. But if you do, don't hesitate to yeet her shit out the window because the shit's supposed to be in your name. If you don't even have a place in your name, don't even worry about interacting with the female because you got a lot of work to do yourself.
Have an exit plan, gentlemen.
Yep. Ghost the fuck out of her because, like I said before, she wields the power of the Simps. She knows this. She knows this. There was a recent video I just seen. Shout out to Poor Man Podcast. Pretty sure it's Poor Man Podcast. Yeah. There was a woman that took a one-way trip to visit a SoundCloud rapper, whatever it's called. and the man refused to fly her back. So guess what she does? She's crying to her thousands of Simp followers, begging them to give her money so she can fly back home. I'm like, you fucking idiot.
And they do it.
And they do it. And they do it. See, this is why I say enabling her bad behavior. It irks the hell out of me that I wish one day, which I know is wishful thinking, that men are actually able to hold women accountable and say, well, suck it up, buttercup, you're on your own. Figure it out. You put yourself in that situation, you get yourself out. What happened to being strong and independent? Don't need a man. Why you crying on here begging for money? No. Because do you know how disgusting it'll look if a man went online begging for money for a situation he put himself in?
Oh shit! Like, Dude, to get dragged so fucking hard.
Oh, he will be on like it'll be the Tosh.0 show, all the
Like, you got to be a part of the alphabet mafia to avoid getting screwed like that. That's the only way to be able to be weak as a man and not get openly dragged, is to be part of the victim class.
it's laughable at this point. It is completely laughable. How can women act so it's like how do I say it? It's like letting a child uh or enabling a child to have junk food every day. And then out of nowhere, uh the father's like, no, no more junk food. That child will freak the fuck out and say, "Oh, my junk, I'm supposed to have junk." That's pretty much the modern woman today. Okay. They are
You know what?
encouraged
You know,
to do bad
actually
things.
I got it. A slightly better analogy. It's like a dog. Like, you don't feed them from the table. You teach them all that stuff, and then one day someone else comes by. And they're like, "Oh, cute puppy! I'm going to feed them," and they start feeding the dog from the table or from the counter or whatever because they think it's cute and they like the affection they get from the dog. And now every time someone's in the kitchen, that dog is all up in their junk looking for food.
Right. It's a learned behavior. It's something that women were taught since they were born. Okay.
God, actually, it's also like those fucking. You know what? It's like the fucking monkeys. Have you heard about like the monkeys? I think they're. I don't know, a couple different places. I think Florida is one of them.
Wait, what?
Like, okay, so basically, like there's these species of monkey where they have a very strict hierarchy, and the hierarchy is that the lower you are in monkey society, you give food to the higher ups in monkey society to curry their favor.
I never knew
So, yeah, well, but now these particular monkeys are interacting with humans. And what do humans like to do with animals that are even remotely adorable?
that. Give them stuff.
Give them food. And so now these monkeys are learning that humans are their bitches, and they're just going up demanding food or outright stealing it from them.
Exactly. And there's nothing we can do per se to make them stop because they'll just freak out or whatever. So difference
And
when
now
it
if
comes
you
to what's
yeah,
up.
like now if you deny these monkeys food, you say no to them, they get violent. And if you hurt the monkey, everyone goes, "Oh, why are you picking on the little monkey?" Like, you're ruining them. You have taught them that humans are their bitches. And now, like, it's all fucking cute until that monkey tears your child's fucking face off because the child wouldn't give them their candy.
Yep. That's pretty much what happens. And let me ask everybody in the chat right now. Everybody in the chat. Have you ever dealt with a woman that became scorned, very vindictive, very spiteful towards you because you didn't give her what she wanted? Put a 1 if you ever dealt with that type of woman that has no boundaries, no line that she wouldn't cross just because you didn't give her what she wanted. I know I've dealt with a woman like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is not that serious at all. But of course, when it comes to enabling her bad behavior, and she never had to deal with consequences of crossing boundaries, of course she's not going to comprehend that there's lines that you shouldn't cross. Why do you think that whenever there's an argument, a woman tends to go for the lowest of blows, going like completely personal on you? This is why I say do not pillow talk with women, gentlemen. they will easily turn it against you. I'm gonna warn you over and over again. It will be your daily dose of red pills because it happens all the time, all the time. And she will say it in front of everybody you know. She won't give a fuck. She will reveal your most personal secrets. What do you say about that, Gray?
It actually reminds me of this one episode of Paranoia Agent where like these housewives were gossiping about this somewhat supernatural killer that had been going around, and they'd been making up like stories, and one of them, who was kind of the outcast of the group, like her stories weren't very believable, the others didn't really buy it. And then when her husband shows up at the house, apparently gotten brutalized by this guy, all she cares about is pressing him for details so that she can have a story to tell the housewives. Like, he's saying call an ambulance, and she's pressing for details of like, how'd you get attacked and why and what happened. I need to know.
Speaking of that, I think we were just going to talk about that last time, but gossiping. Holy fucking women gossip.
That's
Wow.
the thing. Remember, gentlemen, you are the men who do stuff. They talk about stuff, but women would be bored out of their minds if men didn't do things for them to talk about.
Oh man, why do you think that? That's one of the other reasons why they go for the bad boys.
He's got some of the best stories, yeah.
Exactly. Why do you think they always say, "Oh, you're too nice. You're too boring."
Yeah, it's like, sorry, I didn't rack up a body count of 5 people this past month.
Like,
sorry, I can't give you the exact details of what a human being sounds like when they're put through the wood chipper. I'll try to be a little less dull. I'm sorry that you going out and drinking for the 6th night in a row is more stimulating.
I'm pretty sure you guys, I hope you guys know how much women can actually gossip. It is astronomical, okay? I rarely hear men gossip about another man's personal life. I hear them talk about what a man did that day, whether it's comes to work or working out or something like that. But I rarely hear men talking about a man's personal life. I rarely do that.
The closest that I've heard is usually sports related, like what prominent sports figures have gotten up to somewhat recently. That's about the closest I've heard to men gossiping.
See, that's the big thing. And Francesco, he brought it up. Yeah, we gossip about things that actually fucking matters. I won't even say gossip. Like we actually talk about some very important shit. Do you know how many times that when I'm with my good friends, you know, we just go back and forth when it comes to various. I mean, we hop from science to politics to sports to video games to um world events to the economy to climate. Yeah, we talk about fucking climate. Like it is some useful information that we can exchange with each other, not being nosy and talking about somebody else's life 24/7.
Yeah, definitely not. Like, that person's life has, well, no, I can't, like, I haven't
I'm not saying
done
men
it per
do
se,
gossip.
but I've heard it, but it's usually a rehash of a story about someone from the past. Like, I wouldn't say that it doesn't happen. It kind of depends what crowd you end up running with.
Oh, it's like,
But it's
oh,
definitely
remember
not the same
when?
extent, and they're usually doing something else or have something else to talk about. It's never the only thing.
And if it is some type of gossip, it's just reminiscing about, oh, remember back in high school when we did this and that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's nothing that, oh yo, you hear what Gary said about this person on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Like what the fuck? Like, bro, I don't care. But why does that have to do with me? Go away.
No, no, it's more like, yeah, this dude has decided to, like, this dude got out of prison and now he's stepped up for this swirly kid. So it's like, eh.
And once again, I know there are some men out there that gossip. It is what it is. But
The
not
funny
on
thing
the
is,
scale that women do, not on the scale that women gossip, okay?
yeah, no, and the funny thing is, the men that I've met who gossip, they tend to spend a significant amount of time around women.
That too. And on top of that, I noticed the men that like to gossip a lot has little to nothing going on in their actual lives. I've noticed that as well.
Mm,
Well, no,
yeah,
I definitely noticed where uh, they haven't gone to college, they haven't tried to learn a trade. They're literally just living off government assistance, working at some random part time job, not trying to progress. That they're just chilling and doing all those good old druggies. They're the
yeah,
ones that love to gossip as well.
yeah. I think. Hmm. Would you say that gossip is related to a lack of ambition?
Um,
I'm not talking purely like in the financial sense as like where women say I'm looking for a guy who's ambitious. Like a guy who wants to like dive deeper to something or master a particular kind of hobby. Like I'd call that like ambitious in its own way. It doesn't have to
yeah.
be the seeking wealth and power, but a man who's just kind of going through and seems to be fairly content with where he is in life, doesn't really want to change things up too much. I think that those ones are more likely to gossip or repeat the same set of stories every week or so.
When it comes to ambition, I agree. It's not just finances, but at the same time, if you're a man that just talks about what other people are doing all the time, it just shows me right off the bat. I don't even have to know you that you really don't have much else going in your life. Because if you did, you will rarely have time to even worry about what other people are doing.
And that's the other thing. Like, unless what someone is doing has a direct effect on your life, like, why would you care?
I agree. And like what the late great Muhammad Ali said, um, the man who views the world at 50 the same as he did at 20 has wasted 30 years of his life.
Well,
I
actually,
completely agree.
this actually brings up something that I have been looking to bounce around. So, do you think that conversation is worthwhile if it is simply to establish a rapport with another human, when the topic itself doesn't really have any sort of intrinsic value? Like, again, like sports is the one that I run into a fair bit. Now, I have no interest in it personally, but I know guys, they'll talk about sports and the people in the sports teams. And I think I don't see how this really affects your life at all. Like why do you care what a couple millionaires did in the game last night? And you both saw the same game, so it's not like you're trying to like catch one up necessarily or fill in the gaps. Is this done purely as a social exercise to establish a measure of trust, rapport, and communication?
I would say Yes, but at the same time, people
It's
because
just
since it's kind of like everybody has a hobby, like a group of people that watches chess, group of people that watches, NASCAR, you know, they just want to, talk about a specific play and, what their opinions are on it. Um, but I do see what you're saying. I do agree what you're saying. It helps with, establishing that, uh, bond in the
yeah,
sense of we at least have something to talk about, even if you don't talk much. You can at least come to my house every Sunday, and we'd be able to chill and watch the game and just have a good time type situation. So I see what you're saying.
yeah, and it's just it's curious, like observing it kind of from the outside because I don't know, I don't talk about that kind of stuff very much, nor do I often hang around people that I can have these kinds of more esoteric questions. And in some cases, I've encountered something that's like anti curiosity. Like if you introduce someone to a new subject, like recently, for example, they're talking about the conflict out east
Right.
and how, like, maybe some of those bunker guys were correct to get their shelters. And then I mentioned the recent incidents with the food processing plants. And there's like barely a sentence given to acknowledge it before the conversation pivots.
Yeah, because there's how do I say? There's a lot of people that they don't like seeing the bigger picture of what's happening within a situation or within society in general.
Yeah.
They just let the media just feed mainstream media just feed that simple, hey, this country is in trouble. We need to save it. Like, yeah, we need to go, blah, blah. But they're only focused on that particular thing, but not even wondering why there's around 16 plants out of nowhere on fire and destroyed.
Yeah, it's like the source of the information matters more than the information itself.
Right. It is insane. And see what I'm talking about, gentlemen. You see how we can switch from one subject to another with ease and actually have some good conversations. I'm just saying, gentlemen, it's a clear difference. I can never ever have a long, detailed conversation with another woman. There might be one or two out there, but majority, hell no.
Yeah,
They'll
they're
just they'll just space out and just jump into some topic about, oh, look at what she's wearing on TV. Like, I w- I was just talking about macro micro economics. Why do I care about what she's wearing? Like, what? you know, it's crazy. It's crazy. Um,
although
what do you
that
be
being said,
saying?
when you hear oh, that reminds me, like if you do dive down the fashion rabbit hole though, like there's actually that's the thing. If guys do end up talking about fashion, like seriously talking about it, there's a wealth of depth to it too. That's the thing. Even the topics that one would typically consider female dominated, if men take an active interest in it, they'll go deeper than 99.9% of the female population.
Isn't majority of the fashion industry owned by men?
Oh, yeah. That's the thing. Like,
Which
women are the consumers of the product far more than the producers.
which makes it even more hilarious. I guarantee you, the board meetings that they have, and the meetings that happens around the world as well. Especially in Japan and in Korea, where businessmen can literally go to bars and stuff, get fucking tipsy slash drunk, and still get shit done when it comes to business. Oh, and in the Asian areas, going out with your business partners to get some business done. It is a good practice because when you're on that magic juice, you're more honest, more relaxed.
Oh yeah,
In
like
case you
let's
guys
see
have no
what's.
noticed that.
I
Oh,
mean, honestly,
chefs
yeah.
as
Like,
well.
have you seen images of the Congo dandies? Like when men go after fashion, holy shit, do they go after fashion?
Oh, down to the T. Do you know how much? Because I know there's a couple times that I have to dress all formal and shit, right? Oh, how quick I was called out if I'm wearing the wrong watch, wrong color watch, wrong brand of watch. What kind of shoes is these? It doesn't match the context of the shirt. It doesn't contrast at all. You need to switch to this one. Like, guys, give me a break. Like, like, like,
It's like,
what-
guys, I got like fucking 3 outfits that are kind of mixed match here. I don't exactly have a whole closet, but
I
like,
literally got dragged into a tailor uh, store thing so I can get refitted. And that's how serious men can get when it comes to fashion. Like, you ain't gonna be embarrassing me. We're gonna fix this shit. Woo!
and
I'm
that's the
like,
thing. But like, but you still fucking appreciate it when it happens. Like women, they
oh,
will just kind of point and maybe laugh, or maybe if they're a bit knowledgeable, comment on exactly what it is. The guys will actively try to increase your appearance and by extension your social status, even if it's just to prevent theirs from dropping.
yep. Like, what kind of belt you should be wearing? What kind of I forgot what it's called. The clips that you have on your collars. The
Uh, you mean cufflinks or
Cufflinks, I think it is, yeah. Because there's different types that you can wear. What kind of cologne you need to be wearing? You know, don't be wearing that Axe body spray bullshit. You ain't back in middle school. Here, have some of this Calvin Klein. Like, oh shit, like yo, these guys are not fucking around.
yeah? I, God, I mean, honestly, I'll admit I get embarrassed if I'm out and I realize shit. I wore blue jeans with black shoes. I hope the hell no one notices.
Oh yeah, I get there. The shoes. Oh my god, how serious people. Okay, how did I say? Because okay, if you dress like an idiot, men are very quick to call you out. That's no, at least people that are around you, they will definitely call you out. No joke.
That
And
being
they won't.
said, context matters. If you show up in a freaking 3-piece suit to a fucking drywalling site,
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're
yeah,
saying.
like that is where you show up with the fucking 5-year-old t-shirt and half ripped jeans, and the guys be like, "Yep, that's appropriate," because you know it's getting fucking filthy. But you take that same outfit and you like head downtown to like some kind of conference event, yeah, you're gonna get looked at as like, what the fuck is this hobo doing here?
Pretty much. But uh,
Like,
and
you
I
ain't
love
Elon Musk. You can't pull off the fucking nerd t-shirt and jeans look.
no.
Elon Musk gets to do it because he's Elon fucking Musk.
You gotta be the richest man on earth to pull that off. That's all you need. You just gotta be the richest man on earth.
Actually,
I'm gonna
that
tell you.
reminds me. Really, really good saying. Like, it's the secret that the fashion industry doesn't want anyone to know about. Good-looking people look good in anything.
Yep. Yep. That's the hard fact of life. Yeah, like it will get to the point where a woman can literally walk around behind a dumpster looking raggedy as shit. If she is still attractive, some crazy simp will still go after her.
Oh, that's fucking 90s aesthetic in a nutshell. It's like, yeah, I pulled these things out of the dumpsters, sprayed them down with a hose, and dropped some bleach on them. This is high fashion now. Why?
Oh,
Because a hot chick wore it.
pretty much the ripped up. Well, I think it's called. I think it was the 80s or 90s. I think it was the bell bottom jeans. It was.
Oh, fucking pre-rip shit is still in fashion, man. It is crazy. It's like, for
It was
fuck's
very
sake.
big back in the 90s. Very big. Where the bottom of your pants are like very wide.
Oh,
Is
bell bottoms. That's like a 70s thing.
Oh, well, shit. Well, people were still wearing it often in the 90s.
Yeah. No, like from what I understand, it got big in like the hippies. So it was like late 60s to early 90s.
The 80s was fucking weird. That was a weird time.
Okay, what was weirder, the 80s or the 2000s?
80s. I'll have to say 80s. 80s was like what I don't know what to call. Like, what are you wearing? What is that? Like, especially their hairstyle as well. What? Like, see here. Let me ask the chat. Everybody in the chat right now. Which was a weird? Which time zone or not time zone? Which era was much more weird when it comes to fashion?
I
The
think we can just say like
2000s or the 80s?
which decades, but I don't know, man, 2000s was like a fucking
Well,
party
fashion
the
changed.
entire time.
Fashion usually changes every 10 years, at least in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Well, at least it's easy to divide it out. I'm sure that if like we divided everything by like we had like a 7-digit system where like every 8 years things changes, then we mark it out in those denominations. But I just remember the 2000s being really fucking weird.
No, they. I looked at my mom's earlier photos when she was younger. The 80s was weird. Oh my God.
Although I
Like,
don't know if we'll beat the
this was
2020s
normal
for
to you
fucking.
guys?
Although I don't know if we'll probably won't beat the 2020s for weird ass shit.
Oh, 2020s will go down in history as literally the weirdest time in human history.
Well, we'll see what the 2030s bring and whether or not it's. We'll see whether the 2030s bring anything more than nuclear fallout. Although maybe fucking radiation and cancer tumors will be in fashion. Who knows?
2010. What's so weird about 2010? I thought we just pretty all right in the at least early 2010s. I don't think it's that bad.
Like the 2000s can kind of be separated to pre and post 2012.
Well, when you put it that way, okay, I see what you're saying.
Like pre 2012, like I think that's when we still had the kind of wild bit, and then post 2012, everyone chilled right the fuck out.
I was 10 in 85 and it was weird as fuck. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Like everything was all glittery and shit. What the fuck? Oh man. It goes along the lines of the crack epidemic. So what else? 2010s are the colorized weird. Bro, have you seen the 80s?
Well, that's the thing. Like, colorized weird hair became mainstream in the 2010s.
I thought that was already mainstream in the 80s.
No, like that's the thing. You had interesting people coloring their hair in the 80s. Like it was actually a statement of rebellion. Sorry.
It's all the rock songs and pop songs and all that crazy shit in the 80s. They were wearing the weirdest, craziest fucking, I don't know what they were wearing. Like, I don't know what they were wearing. The most normal one, in my opinion, was Prince. Like, that's the only, that's the most normal guy I can think of. And I think Rick James was around that time as well. I'm Rick James, bitch. Okay. But before we continue with our topic, gentlemen, because we definitely got way off topic. If you want to support your boy Sir Yeetus with the Warband, the 2 links are on top of the chat. You can go ahead and donate to paypal.me/Sir Yeetus or Cash App/Sir Yeetus. Any donations are greatly appreciated because I want to have more gifts. Speaking of gifts, hey, Gray.
Yeah, sorry, I had to get the door.
Oh, so GIF or GIF?
Personally, I'm for GIF. I've seen reasonable arguments for GIF.
Well, they're saying the owner said that it was GIF. Well, the owner's wrong.
I guess
It's GIF.
God, no. The funny thing is, literally, the first recommended thing under the live stream video is an argument between Sonic and Shadow about GIF versus GIF.
Yeah, I saw that one.
It's like, it makes a good point. Like, if we were to hold the same principle to all acronyms, we would have to say a lot of different words differently.
Right.
So, I get it. GIF just makes more sense. GIF sounds like it should start with a J. Plus, it's a brand of peanut butter that does start with a J. So, whereas GIF, like, there's no mistaking GIF. You say GIF, like, is it GIF the peanut butter, GIF as in short for Jiffy, or is it GIF GIF? GIF is less confusing.
Yeah, all I'm saying that the owner, the creator of that GIF is wrong. Is GIF. I don't care.
Wait. The owner of Pepe said Pepe is dead, and no one gave a shit about that. So it's not like the owner has fucking immortal rights over what a meme can and cannot be used for.
You can't change the name. I created it. I'm the founder. Whoa, the future is now, old man.
Like, it will be like if you say, I actually heard this and it made a lot of sense. If you say a word and another person understands what you meant when you said the word, then it works. And you successfully communicated.
That is true. And on top of words,
sus now makes sense. Sus is now a word.
Yeah. Language changes a lot. I didn't realize how much it changes. Like, it is crazy how, what was a word back in the 90s or 2000s? Oh, that was dope. Oh, that was fat.
Yeah, fat with a PH, whereas now we have thick with 2 C's.
Yeah, these kids are looking at you like you're fucking nuts. Like, yo, this old man's crazy. What is he talking about? What is he talking about? Dope. What is he talking about? That's dank. Well, what? Dank? It's crazy, man. And I know language is going to be changing even more because I remember when I was still in high school where the word thought started to become popular. I'm like, what is a thought?
We have a quote for this. I used to be with it, but then they changed what it was. Now what I'm with isn't it anymore, and what it seems weird and scary. It'll happen to you.
Oh shit. Oh man. Okay, what else? What else is a word that got changed now? Oh, instead of you're a liar, it's you're fake news. I know
I think Medic would say you're straight capping.
God, I hate that word. Yeah. or no cap. No cap. You don't even have hats.
No cap. That's the thing. No cap is what used to be like, seriously. Now it's no cap.
Yeah, like no cap, like, oh, he's speaking facts. Like, oh, no cap.
Well, God, no cap has, in that case, he's speaking facts has become based.
Well,
we're getting rid of fucking syllables, man. Eventually, we'll just be communicating with individual letters.
Yeah, because he's capping means that he's lying, and okay, no cap means he's telling the truth. He's base means that he's speaking facts. Okay, see, I'm learning. I'm learning. This
That's the
millennial
thing.
mind is learning.
Like fucking base kind of varies. Like it's used often in association as based and red pilled, which basically means like you're saying shit that goes against popular opinion, but you are also correct.
Yep, I remember the word tweaking. Pretty much means that this dude is what's it called? He
He's going through withdrawal symptoms, I think.
oh no, he tweaking means like he's acting out of line.
Hmm.
Oh,
I
the dude
always associated that with like someone's tweaking because like they're on some kind of drugs and they're freaking out, or like or like they're tweaking because they haven't gotten their fix in a while.
That is true. That is true. But see, now we got everybody in the chat right now just fucking arguing about all this stuff. Oh shit. But back to the topic at hand though. When it comes to enabling her bad behavior, um, have you ever had to call a lot of people out or somebody out for complaining about a girl, but it turns out that he enabled her to do it in the first place? So, in the sense of, hold on, give me a second. Give me a second. Yeah, I can't see shit. He's like, oh, I don't think she loves me anymore. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Oh my god. But he always let his girl hang out with her guy best friend.
No, because by the time I was recognizing that particular pattern and got around guys who kind of act that way, it's like they will not listen, and I recognize they won't fucking listen.
Right. It is.
I've tried. Like one guy is just has issues with his kid, but then you propose the physical solutions to what honestly situations that would justify them, and like they start acting all horrified or avoidance, and it's like, well, whatever. If you're gonna give up literally the only piece of leverage you have against them, then all right, whatever. Like you try for a bit, and then they fucking react in a very non-constructive, dismissive way, and you realize that pushing the issue any further is not going to help them, and they're just going to redirect their frustrations onto you for daring to question their methods. It's like, whatever, it is not worth it trying to improve your life when you clearly don't want to. You just want to bitch.
Right. It's like, why you bitching to me? Why you bitching? Why you bitching and you put yourself here in the first place? Why like it makes no sense. Like you're
It's
the
like
one.
I have this piece of meat right here, but I can't bring and it needs to be in smaller pieces, but my fists don't work, and I can't use a knife. Like that would be wrong. But I can't punch it into smaller chunks. Like just use the knife. Oh no, I couldn't use the knife.
I could use a knife, but
Well, no, you absolutely could. The solution's right there. No, I couldn't. It's like whatever.
see that's the biggest thing that Gray was talking about before. We can't even put her feet into the fire anymore. That doesn't happen. It's non-existent in 2022. Okay, it does not happen anymore. How can we? How can we when horrible things are going to happen to you regardless? That's why you see a lot of men, even though they could shut it down, they don't want to, because even if they have a little hint of putting their foot down, it's game over. And she knows this. Why do you think they're so bold to even go at a grown ass man?
Yeah, and then you meet the guys who enable this kind of stuff, and it's like they are so broken so much of the time. Like they couldn't even fathom not enabling her.
I pity the man that revolves his life around Puniti. I pity you.
And then you see the
I
one,
really do.
and then you see the one they're obsessing over, and it's like, dude, the fuck is wrong with you?
You're literally
Like that's
uh
the thing is like it's one thing with the fucking simps and the OnlyFans girls, because you can at least understand the fucking monkey brain going, ooh, 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 ah, ooh, 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 neuron activated. Like you can understand that, but then you see the other like the more married guys, and it's like, dude, the fuck? You're supposed to throw out the trash bag, not put clothes on it.
and especially the OnlyFans epidemic, where literally girls right out of high school, right after they turn 18, all that crazy stuff, immediately OnlyFans, immediately. And I have a younger cousin that tells me all the time. Majority of the girls that he deals with, their only goal is to get rich off OnlyFans. I blame you, Simps. I blame you big time. You're enabling this behavior to the point where they don't give a fuck who they throw on the bus. These Western women, okay? They don't care about their family's reputation. They don't care about what their children will have to deal with potentially in the future of having their mom's naked photos all over the internet. As long as that they can get rich, that is fine by them. That one little rapper girl, Bad Barbie, whatever her fucking name is, or the Cash Me Outside girl, supposedly she made $50 million off of OnlyFans. 50 million.
I am. That's the fuck, man. I am honestly not entirely convinced it's not an elaborate money laundering scheme. Some of these numbers, like, there's so many wealthy success stories. I'm actually getting suspicious as to whether all that money actually comes from Simps.
That, well, based on the 80/20 rule and how a lot of lonely simps are out there and they have all this money that they're earning from work and they
Now,
can't
and
really spend on nothing else.
now, to be fair, it's not like the US is the only place. Like, even if you took all of North America, I'm willing to bet that a lot of this money comes internationally.
Oh yeah, around the world. Oh yeah.
Like
And
that's the only way that you can get these kinds of numbers is like fucking Indian thirst, I'm willing to bet.
oh, that's the biggest one. And yeah, the Cash Me Outside girl. If you don't know who she is, look her up. She announced recently that she made 50 million off OnlyFans, and that's just one. That's just one woman. Okay.
That being said, the 80/20 rule does kind of apply to OnlyFans as well. It's not like every single woman that goes on there net six figures. Like for every one that actually makes it, there's four or more that like make absolutely fuck all.
That is true, but as long as see, okay. Once again, I'm just reiterating: women want everything without lifting a finger. I repeat, they want to have everything that they please without having to lift a finger. What is the easiest thing that a woman can do? Okay,
Not get dressed
go,
in the morning.
pretty much go to work, go get paid $100 to do laundry, sweep the floor, do dishes, or just take 4 or 5 minutes of photos and get 10 times more within a few hours.
Well, and
They
it's not even just about the money. The attention too, because they could get
yeah,
as like they could get a lot from just one dude, but they want as many dudes as possible. I'm positive that's got to be like freaking deep monkey brain things to want the approval of as many men as possible. And when there's 4 billion men, because you have the entire fucking world open to you.
it's big. It is insane because once again, another thing, women for the most part don't care if they're right or wrong. They just want to feel validated by their decision. Why do you think with the previous story I just mentioned, any times that something goes wrong in her life that she perceives is going wrong, she always runs back to her simp following just so that she can feel validated on her horrible decisions. Okay. So yeah, money is one thing, but attention is also a big factor as well.
Remember, attention, time, and money. Those are what they want off you guys. ATM.
That's it. That's it. And unfortunately, there's countless men out there that honestly believe that, oh, as long as I give her my life savings, she will at least give me a chance, right? Like, are you serious? It makes no sense. And is the Simps are mainly at fault. Okay. And I hate the bullshit of, oh, why are you blaming us? It's you men. You men are allowing this. You men are allowing. No, we are not allowing this at all. We have no choice. We have no choice but to have this happen. Because guess who already has their weapon pointing at our heads? And you know this. You have the army of Simps and White Knights and the state on your side. What can we do at that point without having our lives destroyed? What can we do? And then they had the audacity to act all confused and shocked on why men are opting out of the dating game, why men are just walking away. Because what else can we do? You can't have your cake and eat it too. But of course, they're not going to listen to that, right? They're going to try to have both ways. Their entire life, their entire livelihood is about having it both ways. Always.
Yeah, no, it's like, what's the phrase? If you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. Is like, okay, we can't take the heat of dealing with you. We're getting out of the kitchen, and you can't shame us back into a self-destructive environment.
And that's the curse of knowledge, right? Once you are able to learn something, a realization that opens your eyes to a new perspective on how you see society and the world, you can't go back. It's impossible to go back. As much as we want to have this hope factor, like, oh, she must be out there somewhere. Oh, yeah, there must be a good woman. We know in the back of our heads, but the knowledge that we have right now, it is futile.
That's the thing. Even if are, there is incredibly steep competition.
I mean, you're competing with literally the richest Giga Chad, Tyrone, billionaires, power tycoons, whatever it is. You compete with those type of people because if she actually is worth the marriage, right? I'm talking about these one or two women in the West. She's already swooped up, gone. Whoop.
Like that's it's a miracle if like she makes it to 18 without already having her husband fucking laid out for her and ready to fucking go.
Exactly. So it's funny to me. It's funny to me how we didn't do nothing wrong. They want to be equal to us so much in every aspect of society. But if anything goes wrong, it's our fault.
They just want the power.
Without the responsibility. Yep.
And that's the thing. There's nothing wrong with wanting it. It's that very powerful people see an advantage in giving it to them.
Exactly. Because they already know what's going to happen. There is a huge, gigantic plan by the powers to be. I don't know exactly, but I know for a fact that breaking up the nuclear family and filling up lies of women for decades, pretending to be equal to men in all annals of society. That is laughable because right now it's currently backfiring. It's backfiring big time. Okay. Backfiring in sports, backfiring in relationships, backfiring in society in general. And they know this. They know this. The fact that they had the audacity to call men like us, where we are just only talking about male issues within society, they had the audacity to call men like us extremists just for walking away. Extremist. Extremist. just put it, like, think about that, gentlemen. you're an extremist for wanting to be single and alone. Holy shit. I still can't wrap my head around.
Not even wanting, preferring. It's just that
Yes.
the alternative has become so unappealing. That's like, you know what? Fuck it. Not worth bothering with. It's like a whole bunch of people eating fucking shit sandwiches, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna go to a different restaurant. Maybe just cook my own food. And they're like, what? You know, when I eat this shit, what's fucking wrong with you, streamers?
Oh shit, man. It's getting to that point. It's getting to that point. But I'm gonna start inviting people if you guys want to talk about it. But once again, if you want to support your boy Sir Yeetus, those two links on the top of the chat. Go ahead and donate to paypal.me/Sir Yeetus or Cash App Sir Yeetus. All donations are definitely appreciated. And I need a Red Bull. I'm gonna get a Red Bull after this. I haven't had the greatest of sleep last night. Come on in, y'all. Come on in. Come on. Oh man, I forgot to do the vegan stream. I'm gonna do that on Friday. But let me add people right now. Real talk, what's going on, man?
How you boys doing today?
Oh, we are doing phenomenal. We are doing great. What's up, the vital message? So when it comes to enabling behavior by the Simps that encourages women to continue their bad behavior and decisions, and then they turn around and want to blame the rest of us for allowing them to act this way, even though that's not the case. What's your perspective on that?
I'd say the simps are definitely a majority of the problem because they're simply the creature's mind imposed onto a man's body. That man is going to think in the subjective only. He's going to run from any objectivity, any observation outside of himself, and he's going to be controlled under a groupthink mechanism. He believes that he should be under the subjugation of a woman, that he is her subject, and she is his lord, his deity. So in the grand scheme of things, the simp is kneeling in the church of the creature.
Yep, I agree with that 1,000,000%. 1 second. Somebody wants to join in. Hey, what's going on?
Hi. I hope you don't mind me calling in.
Nope, I don't mind at all.
So, I'm from the UK, and I've been seeing a lot of stuff, and I was just reading some of the chat, and I listened to you a bit about what you said about simps and stuff. It is a big problem. There's lots of men that give their money to women. I've seen it. I've known some girls that have opened up OnlyFans and stuff like that. Like the same girls that used to bully me actually in school opened up an OnlyFans, and they just seem to get money, and I don't understand why. I don't see what's so special about giving the money. Like, I don't understand still to this day how Belle Delphine got lots of like followers and stuff like that. Like, I don't get it, but
Okay.
yeah.
So when it comes to simps being willing to give up their resources, the main thing is, if you heard about the 80-20 rule, right? Women mainly look for the top 20% of guys. It's pretty much in their nature, hypergamous, to look for the best possible mate. And
Yeah, but don't you think that also revolves around like the class of the woman? Like if she's from a lower class background or anything like that?
Genetics doesn't care about class.
No.
Like the millionaire man will absolutely go for the like cute girl at Starbucks. There's no class restrictions. There's no.
Oh no,
caste
I meant
system.
in the woman's eyes, because some women may do it for class reasons, financial reasons, but it's I get what you mean though.
That's a big part, yes. But the big issue when it comes to the situation is they are definitely willing to give all this money to any woman at this point, because in Western society, whether it's the US, UK, it is very difficult these days for a man to even get a relationship, because a woman has so many options in 2022 thanks to social media. She is a lot more picky and selective, right? Before social media, she mainly only had people within her town or city.
Yeah.
Now she can speak with men around the world. So,
and addressing the class thing, like women don't want to date or marry down.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
Like if a woman is making 5 figures, she wants a man who makes 6. If she makes 6 figures, she wants a man who makes 7.
Yeah,
So-
there are lots of women that seem to want this unrealistic idea of a man, and I've seen it a lot. Like I have seen like stuff that you guys say about American women, and I'm not from America, so I can't really speak on that, but I can say about women here that they're really shallow when it comes to like a good guy. Like I've actually seen firsthand how like men that have done like really well and all of that, like how they've been treated by a lot of girls, like often and this just, I don't like how it is in our society, like the expectation that these women have, like, oh, other girls need to wear like fake lashes and all this ridiculous stuff. It's like, what happened to being a unique person? What happened to, all of that? But I think that doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately.
I know about women. I know about women in the UK. That's why we tend to incorporate all Western, because the Americas and Europe, for the most part, they're Western society. And well, to address why simps give the money away is because the fact that social media doesn't help in their cause and to try to get a relationship. And like what Gray said, women don't date down, they only date up. Women know that they have power within their youth and beauty, right? And with on top of a lot of desperate men out there, they're willing to even deal with an average woman, average looking woman. You know, worst comes to worst, even a below average looking woman, and see if they can have some type of connection with this woman online. And she knows this. She knows this, and she uses it to her advantage to the point where uh, all she has to do to keep the simps, keep the bankroll coming in is anytime a person donates, you know, she acknowledges his existence, and that gives that uh dopamine rush, that gentleman rush to that sip, like, oh my god, oh, she knows me, oh my god.
Yeah.
So it's a sad life or a sad decision to do, in my opinion, as a man, because you can definitely do a lot better, but I see why they do it.
And then on top of that, like you're from the UK, so you're probably familiar with the term man desert, correct?
Man, what, sorry?
Man desert.
No, actually, no.
Okay,
That's
well,
so
those
new
are
to me.
communities, I believe that they're fairly prominent in the UK and Australia, though probably could find them around North America as well,
Oh, wow.
where there is a complete absence of male figures in a child's life. Like there's no fathers in the area, there's no male teachers at schools. Like literally there are no or almost no men
Oh,
in a
I've
wide
never,
area.
yeah, I've never seen that, but I'm not surprised to hear that, because there are a lot of men, especially in Britain, and I think we have the lowest testosterone in the world, like one of the lowest in the UK. Um, and I think it's because of the way like a lot of these men are raised. Like I'm like in Britain, I don't seem to find men here that are against feminism. A lot of them actually that I've known are, you know, they're for feminism. And like even when you try to have a normal conversation with some of them, that they're so quick to defend it and say it's equal rights and all of that crap. And I'm not a feminist at all, so when I hear this, I'm kind of like, it's understandable, but a lot of them do lack a father figure, and I've noticed that, or they didn't have a masculine father. Same with the girls in Britain, actually. A lot of them don't have a strong dad, or they often have the stepdad. I mean, I come from like nuclear family. I have my mom, my dad, and a younger brother. But I was quite raised differently compared to most people. Like my mom was a housewife and my dad worked, so it's like I grew up with like traditional values growing up, but like as I started to like get out in the world and things started to change when I was like 11, so I was like, oh, what's going on? So yeah, I'm still like fathom. So
So basically, what ends up happening is you have generations of men raised, and they have no concept of male approval. Everything in their society is geared entirely towards female approval. So that is what they seek out in relationships, female approval. And OnlyFans allows them to get that female validation, like guaranteed, because trying to get that from an individual flesh and blood woman these days is basically impossible unless you are at the top of the pack. And it's relatively cheap and easy. You're not going to get female validation anyway other than OnlyFans for the vast majority of men these days, because all these women, the men that they actually are validating in real life, are that same upper percent of men, and they're all passing the same STDs around.
yeah, or they tend to be lonely men, or men that are, I guess, excluded from school, or just went through bullying and all of that stuff in general. They tend to be
No,
really sad
that's
men.
the thing. That would be the bottom percentage. No, this is the bottom 80%. The majority of men. Like women have a completely unrealistic expectation for what the average man is. They see the majority of men as less than average. and they don't see any man as a 10. So unless you're like that 5 to 10% of the male population that is actually seen as valuable, you are not going to get attention from a female, because for every one attractive guy, there are 8 women going for him, and
Do
they're
you
not
think-
bothering with any lesser men.
Well, I gotta interject right quick. On top of that, a lot of women, they tend to base their experience with men with the top 10%. See, in today's society, we call the guys with supreme genetics, like they won the genetic lottery. We call these guys Chad and Tyrones. These type of guys, they are winning in today's dating. They can have any girl that they want, right? And all these girls, majority of women, no, all women, I'll say all women, want these guys, right? Because once again, there's not too many 6-foot guys that have 6 packs and a 6-inch loan, right? So when it comes to that situation, why would Chad and Tyrone settle with one woman when he can have as many as he wants? So when these women expect commitment from Chad Tyrone and she doesn't get it, she loves to blame the rest of the male population based on her experiences
That's
with
true.
these guys.
And
Yeah.
another, like, here's probably one of the more famous examples of just how detached from reality it gets. So there's this one woman who decided to pretend to be a man, like went completely all the way. There was no one who was in on it, and actually ended up writing a book about her experiences called Self-Made Man.
I think I heard of this. Yeah.
Here's the telling thing. When she became a man, she didn't become a super hot man. She didn't become a Chad. She became just an average dude.
Yeah.
She described the treatment that she got as being an average man as less than human. So from a woman's perspective, the average man is not treated as a human being.
The creature thinks in extremes.
She
She
couldn't.
can't.
Oh, keep going. Real talk.
I was just going to say, in regards to this topic, women, they always make compromises. The definition of masculinity is to be disciplined through never compromising, being an uncompromised being. And the men today live for validation like women, so they're always going to make compromises no matter what. And these women, they'll make all the compromises in the world for that top genetic lottery type guy, but they won't, how can I say, they'll make physical compromises, but they won't make behavioral compromises because there's so many simps. It's a little bit off topic, but I just had to throw that. They think in extremes because they literally have to suck the energy. Or think about it like this. Why does she always want to take Chad Tyrone, the top genetic being that she can find? And why does she always want to turn him into a beta? Break him down and mold him like putty in her hands. She has to have ultimate control, and she can never let go of an advantage. That's why she always has to pick your mind for where you're emotionally vulnerable so she can use it against you. These women have been turned into enemies of men instead of helpmeets of men, living for men, serving men, being subjugates and subjects of men. That's the problem here, is they look for worship, even from the top tier guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is, and Lucy, you need to understand, a lot of channels and men like us, we say, do you believe that we hate women?
No, I don't.
Like,
I don't think that.
That's the quickest thing that society, and especially these raging feminists, they love to say. Anytime you point out any facts, anything that's observable to the human eye, and we point it out, they're quick to say, "Oh, you just hate women. Oh, you just must be gay." Like, how does that make any? That makes no sense. You admitted yourself on social media that you love to jump on 30 different dudes in like one night. You said this. Why are you saying that I hate women for just pointing that out?
Yeah, I don't think that the men on this type of space hate women. I think at first, like, I was really young when I discovered this type of content. I was like maybe 16, 17. Um, and I've always like noticed that all the girls wanted to be with that like fuck boy or whatever. And for me, I never found that interesting, surprisingly, but I can understand why other girls find it appealing. And I know that a lot of girls have like fatherly issues and like they miss that male figure in their life, and it is unfortunate. And they seem to chase something unrealistic and then they end up getting hurt. And I've seen that before. So for me, I never did that stuff. I've never been with anyone, so I can't really relate with some of that stuff that these girls have done. So, but I just want to be careful for my future and things like that. I just don't want to make a mistake like that or anything. So, I'm always just trying to be careful and trying my best because I want to find a good man that wants a family and stuff. I mean, that's what I've always wanted, really. But it's just hard in the modern day, I guess, because I've noticed that a lot of men that do want that, they don't want to go for women in like other countries, like in the UK and stuff. They'll go to Japan or Korea or Thailand or whatever. And I can understand them. I can understand why they would do that because they aren't really feminine and I guess kind and sort of the traditional type of woman that you would meet in the 1920s really left in the UK or let alone in the US. So
Well,
I
it's
can
not
understand
just
that,
the quality of women. Like, say a man does find a unicorn. Like, if you wanted to find a good man that wanted a family, you would have to agree to leave the UK with him because it is the laws of the country that are the biggest enemy to families.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I would be okay with that. I don't want to live here anyway, so I'd be fine with that.
Because a lot of women, they love to say, especially when they're trying to find a long-term relationship, like, oh, I'm perfect wifey material, I'm this, I'm that. But once again, to our knowledge, women, they primarily base their decisions on emotions, and emotions change like the weather. So she may be all, good and dandy now, but what about 5 years from now, 10 years from now, hell, even 20 years from now? What if she feels like she was wronged one day? She knows that she has the ability to end the marriage and ruin that man's life, at least financially, if she
Yeah.
wanted to.
I have a question for you, Yeetus.
What's good?
Are you MGTOW or just
No, I just discuss male issues. I have a lot of people. Well, in the West, I am. Let's just say that.
okay?
I don't want to deal with Western women like that anymore. It's not worth it to me. But I do have a lot of people that are MGTOW, red pill, or they just want to speak about male issues. Right? I had a good amount of experience with the dating market, and I'm telling you right now, it is not fun. And whoever is not a man, and I also hate it when older people, they love to say like, "Oh, just go out there. There's a bigger fish in the sea." Blah blah blah. I tell them to be quiet because never ever in the history of humanity that we had to deal with something such as this, especially with social media involved. This changed the game forever.
Yeah, like it's changed so much because the way my parents met, like my mum, she was never with anyone in her life. And she married my dad, and my dad's been like the first and last person my mum's been with, and I want that for myself. But I feel like it's so hard to achieve that, especially with the way the minds are today. Like the feminist mind, like my dad, for example, like he doesn't like feminism and he makes sure that I don't believe in that stuff. And my mom's not a feminist either, so it's like
Feminism,
really surprising. But yeah.
Well,
feminism is cancer.
in that case,
Well, do you live?
Hey, hold on. Let me get this out the way real quick. Then I'll let you talk, Gray. Feminism is cancer. Okay. I don't care how you try to justify it. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about anybody else.
Yeah.
Feminism is literally one of the worst ideologies out there, in my opinion. It's literally the main driving force of a decaying society. Okay. How are we going to be putting people that don't even know what to eat for lunch on a pedestal of having power and stuff? You might as well put a 10-year-old on the president's desk and say, okay, you're in charge now. Good luck. Like it is insane to the point where, once again, men, they'd rather spend thousands of dollars or leave their entire life behind just to find a girl on another side of the planet. Because Western women, they drove the value of, you know what I mean by puniti, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Women, they drove the value of puniti at an all-time low. All-time low. It is so easily accessible at this point.
Yep.
Why would a man bother to try to get something serious? He based on the dynamics of the dating game today, he's just gonna accept that you probably already slept with somebody, because one of the number one things that a man wants is a woman with no past. More specifically, a woman that's hopefully a virgin, right?
I used to not believe that at first, because everyone at school, like in the UK, we have like a culture that happens in secondary school. So when you're 16, you're supposed to not be a virgin, and I never lost mine because I just didn't want to do that, and for me it just didn't feel right. I'm just not that type of person. I never was, and one girl found out that I was still a virgin, and she bullied me relentlessly. And then these men would tell me, you're never going to find anyone. You'll never get married. No man is ever going to want you. So I was bullied relentlessly for being a virgin, actually.
Yeah, I'm not
but I
surprised.
never lost mine. I still didn't. But
How old
I
are you
still
currently?
19.
I'm telling
So-
you right now, you are in the highest demand ever right now. So your best bet, you need to focus on finding a good partner. That's your best opportunity right now, because at this point, non-virgins, they're definitely all-time low. Like, how do I say?
It's like 3% in America, right? For them to get married.
Hell, I don't even know if it's even less than that. But I know virginity is at an all-time high, like literally the highest of high. So if you're saying what you're saying is true, you need to get on that right now and settle down, because literally countless men out there, because you can easily get a simp, right? But I'm sure you want a man that's sustainable, able to take care of himself and all that stuff.
I want a man that understands, like, I'm not feminist, because there's men in Britain that are feminist, and a lot of them don't want a woman that doesn't, like, because I don't want to have a career. I did at first when I was younger, but my mind changed, and I just felt like, no, I want to get married. And I got these videos on my recommended when I was 16, because I didn't want to go to university. University means college, and I guess you're American, so it means college, and I never wanted to go because, first of all, I thought it was too expensive. Second, I felt like I wouldn't be motivated. And third, I looked at a lot of career women and I saw some studies. I was like, wow, they are miserable. And I wanted to be a lawyer, but I changed my mind. For me, it was like, it's not worth it to go through that hassle for like 15 years and just live a meaningless life. Like, money can only do so much for you. It's really about being fulfilled.
You already heard about the unhappiest group, at least in America, right? It's a woman that has a career, over 40 years old, single, no kids. The most unhappiest group in America. Like, they're severely unhappy because, of course they want to LARP as men. They don't understand that men and women, we have different point of views, different reactions when it comes to careers. Okay. Men,
So
we're built to have a career. We love to work. We love to bring home the bacon. Okay. But women, on the other hand, especially if they do have kids while they have their careers, they'll take way more vacation hours. They will work less hours. They will quickly try to find a man to marry so she doesn't have to work anymore. They derive their happiness primarily from being a mother and taking care of the family. So, not saying that that's your only thing you have to do, but primarily for a woman, her happiness derives from family.
Yeah. Like my mum feels so fulfilled having like me and my brother, and she doesn't want to change it for the world, and she feels so happy being married with my dad, and and I want that for myself because fulfillment is it really comes from family, it comes from children, it comes from what you've made. And I feel like women are happiest at home. I don't think women are happiest. I've never met a happy feminist. I've never met one. I'm yet to still meet one. I've never met one. So
Well, and
Yeah,
here's the
uh,
thing. I've got a very quick and easy way for you to get what you want.
oh,
Talk
wait,
to your
wait, hold on.
father.
Wait. Quick analogy, then you can continue because I have to do something right quick. Lucy, scenario. Would you rather on your deathbed be surrounded by 80, 90 people that pretty much came from you, your grandkids, your great grandkids, all numerous amount of family surrounding you, supporting you, uh, at the end of your life? You're just surrounded by love and all that stuff. Or would you want to be in some type of nursing home or at the hospital and nobody visits you? Your family just maybe your child or two, but for the most part, if you don't have any kids, who's going to come visit you, right? You're
yeah,
just going to be alone, right? All that work for all those years with retirement money, you got all this, you got all that, but at the end of the day, there's no one by your side near the end of your days. So
that's true.
you would rather be fruitful with your family, and then you have this gigantic family that just loves their mom, loves their grandma. Like, oh, look at that. Or you just want to be in the hospital, nursing home, just wasting away. Just like, well, damn, so much for having a fucking career. Like, uh, which scenario would you rather have?
I'd rather have the one where you said like 80, 90, and then my family and just like surrounded, even though I will never be able to see what it's like when I'm dead, but it's just good to know that I left a legacy. And that's what I want to do instead of not leaving a legacy. I just don't want to die knowing I didn't have children and I slept around or anything like that, which I would never do, but still, like, I just never want to think about it. It's like a nightmare to me, and I'll never want it. So, yeah.
Okay, great, go for it.
All right, straight up. Easiest way for you to get what you want. Talk to your father. Tell him what you want. Ask for his help.
Yeah. I mean, I've told my dad, but he wants me to like wait a few years. He says I'm too
Okay.
young, but I don't believe
Okay.
that.
No, like you have a limited supply of eggs. You have a limited window of time for healthy children. You have a limited window of time where you will be able to get like the highest quality of men. The cutoff date is when you turn 24. And you're going to want to be able to vet the man prior to that. So it's going to take at least a year or two. Like,
Yeah.
best case scenario, you're not going to be popping out your first kid for 21, even if you found a man to start vetting tomorrow. So
Yeah,
with the
exactly.
understanding that it's not going to happen, best case scenario, for another year or two. But if he's thinking, oh, you need to wait for your 30, he is wrong.
No.
You need to get this, or even 25 is too late. You need to start looking now, start
Yeah.
vetting now, and use your father to judge the man's character. If he probably has connections, he might be able to find something there. Trust him to vet the men. Look hard, dedicate the next couple years to finding a husband.
That's what I'm doing because I'm currently doing my A levels, but I don't enjoy it at all. I'm not really motivated with school. I always learn about these ridiculous like Black Power lessons and feminism, and like there's all these
You're straight up wasting your time.
I know.
You would honestly be better off learning how to cook and sing and paint.
Exactly, I'd be better off learning how to hunt fish too and live out in the wild, not any of this. But I've only got 4 weeks of this crap, and then I've got these exams, and I just don't want to do it. But I'm just doing it for the sake of my mum, because my mum is just so, she just wants me to get an education. She's like, I never got an education. I had to get married.
Look, if she wants you to have an educate, then ask her, Mother, what would you rather have? An educated daughter or grandchildren?
Oh my god, I should ask her that. I haven't, but
you need to ask her that and make her reevaluate her priorities, because she's going to get one or the other.
Yeah, my mum's quite like, she just wants to follow the crowd. It's ridiculous.
That's the thing. I have seen the consequences of this kind of, well, I didn't have an education, so I want you to have it. No, because here's where the logic for that comes. It's like, oh, well, honey, if you get an education and you start to get a career, then a higher degree of man will be open to you. And that's not how men work. That's how women work. Women want career men because career men give resources and stability. Men don't want career women.
Yeah, men don't really give a shit about your career or money.
So you need to make it very clear to your mother, Mom, you're either getting an educated daughter or you're getting grandchildren. You're not getting both. Pick one.
Yeah.
Lucy.
And at the end, remember, she's not the one who has to deal with the consequences of you not having children.
I know.
You are the one who has to deal with it. So
exactly.
You have to be willing to say no to this bullshit. And focus on what's actually important.
Yeah, that's why I feel harsh saying no to my mum. But my mum feels like kind of rewarded when I tell her I want to be a housewife. Like, I remember when I told her the first time I admitted it to her, she just smiled and was happy to hear it, but slightly disappointed. She's like, I'm glad you want to follow my footsteps, but I want you to get a degree. And
well, guess what?
She said that men don't find it attractive if I don't have one. I told her that was ridiculous.
Okay, well, guess what? Why are you asking a fish how to catch fish? Yeah. Your mom doesn't know what men want. She's a woman. Men know what men want.
Yep. And men are able to go for a woman that's working at a McDonald's. Like, literally, men don't care. Like, you being able to produce resources are the least of our concerns. Because why? In order to even have a relationship with you in the first place, we got to have our own resources.
I'm sorry, I just found this funny. Someone said coming out as a housewife is the new coming out as gay.
Pretty much. But it's just the craziest part where it's like, yo, like, I got my own money. I know for me to have a chance to have a date with you, a relationship with you, I got my own money. I can take care of both. I don't give a shit about how much you make or your career. I don't. And the other reason why a lot of men don't like the educated career woman is they love to throw it at men's face 24/7 about,
that's true.
I gotta, like, yo, I don't give a fuck. Do you know how to cook?
That's true.
Do you know how to take care of the kids? Do you have motherly instincts? Like, that's what we care about. I love it how in today's society that women, they always want about, it's about me, but not once they ask about what a man wants. Not once. It's insane.
Yeah, like, I knew, so my dad's friend, his daughter, she does medicine, and honestly, she's really horrible, especially to me. Like, she used to be nice to me, but when I was a baby, when I was really young, but as I grew up, she was like, why aren't you finishing school? Why did you retake at 19? Just like always putting me down about it. She's like, I'm doing so well, and there's pharmacy, medicine degree, whatever it is. And I was just like, all right, good for you.
How old is she?
She's like 24. Like, she's not married.
It's I don't know what she did in college, but I'm assuming that she was doing some things in college.
She's doing medicine.
Yeah, she went to college, right?
She did, yeah. Her family always boast about it, and like it's like a dig at me. I've noticed they always dig at me because I don't have a degree and I haven't gone off to uni because like my mom expected me at 18 to have gone off and done a degree, but I didn't want to. I haven't even done my UCAS. I just don't want to go to uni. I don't want to waste my time. It's a time waster. So.
See, I agree, but don't worry about it, because if she went to college, more than likely she's not a virgin anymore. And on top of that, based on she has work these many hours and stuff, let's see if she has time to even have a family or sustain a marriage, because a lot of doctors within her field, they don't stay married long at all. And the older they get, the stronger her cope will be. And she will lie, and this happens all the time. She will lie to these younger women about how amazing her life is, being single at 40, no kids, and like she will put up this face of like, oh, I'm so great. Men, what are men? I don't deal with these XY
I
chromosomes.
still can't believe women at 40 are still at clubs. That's crazy to think about.
Oh,
like-
it's getting bad out there. What'd you say, Real Talk?
There's 2 points or 2 questions I have for Lucy, and then 1 statement. I think that 4 words could really, and there would be outside of her father, 4 words. I guess I'll start with that. Can you hear me?
Is this...
What's up?
Hello?
I don't think
Whoa.
Lucy can hear me anymore.
Are you there?
Sorry.
Oh. Guess she can't hear.
I can't hear anything. It's weird. Hold on.
Maybe her StreamYard audio kind of reset. It happens for me from time to time.
It'll be hilarious if she just talking mad shit. Right? These damn green skin.
Yeah, but you know, tales all this time, freaking mothers sabotaging their daughter's future.
Yeah, I was just gonna bring that up.
And do you know how easy it was for us to, like, we didn't talk completely fucking mad shit about her, unlike her little sisterhood. We actually gave her some sound advice. So who is truly the menace when it comes to tearing down the fabric of nuclear family?
Oh, we're well aware.
Yeah, I'm just asking for the chat.
Lucy's asking for the link again in the YouTube chat, if you could drop it for her. Or maybe just
links. That's what she said.
Maybe Lucy could there it goes. Every time this happens, I always refresh my browser on my phone and it gets me right back.
It's just insane. It's proven time and time again. Like, men, we aren't the one that's doing shit. It's literally constantly, it's just other women putting women down or peer pressure them to do the most horrendous things and fuck themselves over.
Well, that's the thing. They're jealous. Like, a non-virgin can never be a virgin. They can only destroy other virgins. A mother can never be as young as her daughter. All she can do is destroy her daughter's youth.
Oh, we're gonna get base. If not this stream, but next stream about that. Cause holy moly. But last show, if you want to support your boys here, Yeetus of the Warband, go ahead and click on the 2 links on top of the chat. PayPal.me/Yeetus or Cash App/Yeetus. All donations are definitely appreciated. Welcome back, Lucy.
Sorry. I don't know what happened, but I just suddenly stopped hearing everything. But I heard that there were questions for me.
Yeah, I had first question I had for you was in regards to your mother's vision that she has for you and your vision that you have for yourself. What training has she done for you to make you the housewife and have the longevity that a housewife brings as being a servant to a man, not as in a slave, but she is submitting herself in every way so that he can lead that household to bigger, greater, better things, salvation more or less. What has your mother done for you that has given you the tools that you need to bag that top tier guy who will entertain a virgin?
Okay, so it's a very loaded question. So when I was younger, I was kind of against some of the values that my parents taught me. and I used to be confused and all of that. But really, as I got older, I started to understand why my mum taught me how to cook. My mum taught me to clean. My mum made sure that I learned, a lot of things. And when I was younger, she, made sure to remind me that one day you will get married and all of that. And my mum would put on little cartoons with they were like couples and there were kids there, and she would like make me watch that, and I would watch that, and I used to like aspire that, go like, that's really nice. And I used to find that really interesting. And yeah, my mum, even though my mum and I were not similar in everything, but we are similar in like what we both sort of want. But she always wanted me to like, be good to a man. Like if I insulted a guy for no reason, she didn't like that behavior. And the feminist stuff, I think when I'd come home and I'd tell her like we should share everything, and I'm when I was 14, I said, oh, I'm better than a man. And my mum got very angry, said, don't say that, because when you get older, you'll regret it. And I think she was talking nonsense. So just like the things, just like my mum's sort of like culture, like the way she raised me, cleaning, cooking, like I had to do the chores. My brother never got to do the chores. So that type of stuff. So my mum kind of taught me, what it's like to be a girl, like looking after yourself. And for example, looking after my health was very important, like home cooked meals. My mum really hates fast food.
That's good.
So she never wanted me to eat fast food, but I had a lot of problems in school when I was younger, so I did get overweight, but I lost the weight. I'm slim now. I've been slim for like 3 years now. But yeah, I've kept the weight off. I did keto, but yeah, I had a bit of a diet change, and I had to explain that to my parents. That's been a bit hard, but my mum's adjusting to it now. But yeah, my mum always made sure that we're home cooked meals. So I was so used to seeing home cooked meals, and then I think one time I went to this person's house, and the mum just cooked like chips and nuggets, and I was like, I've never seen this, because my mum never brought that. Like maybe once a month she'd do that for us, but never every day. She never wanted that. And
Gotcha.
yeah,
That was that I I'm not the judge of response, but very wholesome. Now the second question I had, now this is a point that Gray has brought up, and I agree with him on it. From the age of say 14, where other girls your age may have been getting loose and getting down and dirty, from ages 14 till 19, what steps have you done to divorce yourself from the groupthink, the hive mind that a lot of women are controlled by today? How have you become an individual away from that group?
Oh, that's a good question. So when I was 14, I did notice that girls were learning like weird stuff, like going with guys older and all of that. I mean, the good thing is I was a little overweight at the time, but I wasn't unattractive. I wasn't hideous, but I always felt like I never liked any of the guys. I went to a girls' school first off, but there were boys that I knew, but I never felt like I wanted to be with them and all of that. But there was a guy that liked me, but he hit me all the time. It was really horrible to me. So I was like, no, I don't want this person. He beats me. But apparently girls want that now, but not then.
So
But
would you say mainly your parents?
Sorry?
Your parents are the main influence?
A bit, but mainly the internet. I mainly grew up with like a lot of stuff on the internet, and just really I never felt like I was like most of the people at school. I was quite isolated and stuff, so that kind of helped me. But I tried to fix my social skills and things like that, but I never wanted to sleep around. I always found it like really fearful. But there were guys that liked that, and then at the time I used to think it was horrible being a virgin. It was the worst thing in the world, and I'm a bad person, no one's gonna want me. But then I came to this red pill type of content when I was 17, so I would watch and go, I think I made the right decision. And like it's really surprising that there were actually men in the world that wanted a virgin, which I thought didn't exist. I thought it was a lie. I thought my mum was lying. I thought, because my mum would always try and comfort me and say, don't be silly, don't sleep around, don't do any of that. But I never felt like I wanted to. I always thought maybe I should, but there was just so much in my life that deterred me from that. And it was mainly myself, because I don't know what it is. I guess I have more of a conscience. So I just know when something's bad. I always listen to my gut. I always listen to that gut feeling. But I decided to wait till marriage. And yeah, for me, it's like I'm going to wait till marriage.
Lucy,
and if there's no guy that wants that, then yeah, is what
the
it is.
biggest thing is why you never heard of men actually wanting traditional relationships or virgins. It's because you should already know how quickly a man will be attacked verbally or even physically if he talked about that subject in public these days, right? That's why spaces like this exist, because this is literally the only way that men are actually able to convey the male issues and issues with modern dating. So that's why you probably haven't even heard of it like that growing up, because there's a lot of cases where if a man he speaks the opposite of what a feminist or a simp wants, it doesn't end well for him at all. His reputation, he loses his job, or he gets physically hurt.
Yeah.
So
Well, and it's very much like, so a woman who is not a virgin, she can't ever become a virgin. All she can do is make sure that there are no virgins around her so that the competition is equalized. Now, at the same time, a man who has no standards hates men who do have standards because they hold themselves to a higher standard than he holds himself to. And it's just easier to tear another man down than raise him up.
Yep. And the one last statement I had, this could be used, and this is what I would suggest, and I'm sure the men in the chat and the men on the panel would agree with me. Get into the best physical shape, get into your best form you can possibly be in. I'm talking about hit the gym. You got to be a maniac like our boy Island Hermit, who he lives, eats, sleeps, shits in the gym. Turn into that maniac, and then find the best, highest status, whatever the credentials are for the man that you're looking, and start dating. And on that first date, I want you to breach the subject with 4 words: no ring, and you hold up your hand, and then you say no honey, and then you point down to your crotch area and watch their reaction on their face. See how those men react. If they look all surprised, like, I can't believe this girl would ask me for such a thing, those men are fuckboys. Those men are looking to get into your pants. But if the guy has like a more, how can I say, conserved look on his face, where he's like, he can accept that. He can see that as in, this girl has value, and he's going to have to accept your position. You can't come off of your square. You're letting them know, no ring, no honey. I know it sounds a little bit stern, and it's something that you wouldn't hear from a woman, but from a guy's perspective, if I heard a girl tell me that on the first date, and I'm a high value man and she's beautiful, I'm going to have to respect her. I'm going to have to walk away if I'm just trying to get into her pants, or I'm going to have to double down my efforts and take her serious and start to look for the end goal of marriage with her. If you let them know off Jump Street, you don't beat around the bush, you're going to be able to weed out a lot of guys, because the guys who are looking for a virgin, they're looking for specifically you. They're going to be like, wow, I can't believe how direct she is. Like, I know it could sound a little bit out of bounds, but what do you guys
She can't
think?
hear your real talk.
She's been gone for like 5 minutes.
Oh, fuck.
I have
But you guys,
you're on the roll. You're on the
what
roll.
do you guys think about that, though?
It's a great idea. In fact, I would have respect for somebody that actually had that type of values. I wouldn't trust.
Admittedly, though, my initial reaction if a woman said that would be, I would actually be fucking surprised. I'd be like, wait, what? She serious? Basically, it's going to be fucking confusion and suspicion initially.
Exactly, because I will have to actually, if you truly want to know how a woman is, you need to go to her family. You need to see how her family is, and how she interacts with them.
That's like, if that was the case, it's like, okay, marriage has to be on the table for this. Okay, well, we're gonna go that way. Got to meet the parents first. But like, at the very least, like, if you say that, I wouldn't say it's necessary. Like, the guys are going to be like shocked, like, oh, how dare she have standards? No, like, the fuckboy is just gonna like get bored and move on, or he's gonna think like, yeah, that's what they all say.
Yep, let me add her back.
Sorry about that. I'm on my PC now, so nothing should happen.
Your name is Lucy?
Lucy, I just said Lucy again.
I was about to say. I knew it, a chameleon.
Yeah. But yeah, quite simply, like make the standard clear, like on the first date, to weed out the fuckboys, and definitely have your father vet them.
Yeah. For me, like, I'll already know if it's a fuckboy because of the way they look. It's not really that hard to spot the hair, the fuckboy hair. In the UK, we have a different type of fuckboy to the American one, so it's like instant. The short back and sides, and the shirt, and it's just horrible.
Yeah, well, just because a guy isn't obviously a fuckboy doesn't mean that he is guaranteed to provide the level of commitment. You still have to provide that vetting, and you got to double check it with your dad, because some guys, in fact, a lot of guys, are willing to play the long game.
Yep, so, because your past, because for her to say, like what Real Talk was saying, like no diamond, no honey, right? No, no diamond, no hymen, right? If that's the case, then I need to vet you like crazy, because I need to know that your past is clean for me to even believe that you're a virgin.
A lot of guys just straight up aren't going to believe you because they've heard that shit before.
We're too jaded. We heard it way too many times.
What?
And it comes to light. Especially, what's up?
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry to interject. So you say that it's hard to tell if someone's a virgin. That I can understand that. There are girls that lie about it, I guess. I've not met any.
They can get reconstruction surgery as well.
I do know a girl. She's a feminist though, but she's a virgin. But like, she's not like a radical, like hates like every single man. But she seems to be following a group of people, like, but she is a virgin. She told me, like, I don't have any guy that I like. She's never been with anyone. She's the same age as me. I do try and like look out for her, and I do tell her, like, don't be a feminist. But she doesn't listen to me. She's only doing it because all her friends in school, and she's in university, and she's doing a psychology degree.
She's gone. She's lost. I'm sorry, but you're going to have to cut ties with her if you want a healthy future.
Yep. Because how do you know she will come back all miserable shit?
Straight up, I'll tell you right away. She's already fucking miserable because she went for a psychology degree.
On top of that, she will come back to sabotage your relationship because you could be having a good time with your man and she has nobody.
That's what I'm afraid of, because I had a lot of female friends, and I try to make female friends because I do have male friends, but the female friends that I made, they weren't very good. Like, one of them was just horrible to me, and they just seemed to want misery. And the female friends I had, like, they were like both in their mid-20s, and I tried to help them because they had all this baggage, and one of them kept chasing a guy that clearly just wanted sex from her, wasn't interested in anything else. But she was like, I don't want to tell him my intentions, and I'm like, you need to make it clear. And I had to get rid of her because I felt like she was using me. And then she was trusting a girl a year older than me who had a terrible experience with men, and listening to her saying, don't go with a Tom, don't go with a Harry, all these names. And I just kept telling her, like, don't be ridiculous, don't judge a guy off his name. But yeah, that's the thing. And the star sign stuff, I can't deal with it. I run.
Here's a big thing, Lucy. Have you noticed that women, they love to say all these crazy things just to cut out the competition?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
sorry,
just
but
saying.
like
I'm just saying.
you're gonna lose basically every female friend if you want to have a proper family.
You need to. It's game over.
Yeah.
Uh
And
it's your
no, I
choice.
agree.
Not saying that you have to do it, but it's highly advisable for you to cut them off.
No, I've cut out a lot of people in my life that weren't very good for me because to me it's a waste of time to have that type of friendship. I never had good friendships with women, to be honest. I've always wanted a traditional female friend, someone that was similar to me. I don't like using the word traditional because I think it's biological, the way I feel and what I want. I think it's biological. But I try to find women that are similar minded to me, but it's hard because a lot of girls that I meet, they just tend to want star sign. They tend to have that basic personality. They're just like a copy and paste of each other, at least here in Britain. I don't know about the US, but they are such a copy and paste here. It's very hard. So
It's the hive mind. Like, they're so wired for social approval that independent thought becomes a liability.
yeah, someone said astrology is horseshit. I so agree. I hate
That's the good
astrology.
thing. That's the two things that will make a woman that go from whatever, like a 7 or 8. I don't care if she's a 10. She will automatically go to a 0 if I find out she's a feminist and she believes in astrology. She's a automatic turn off. I don't care. No.
Yeah, because
No.
the stuff they say, I don't want to be your friend because you were born in July, or they say things to guys like, I don't want to be with this guy because he's a.
He's a Capricorn and I'm a Pisces. We're not compatible. Ooh.
Yeah, I think it's so stupid. I just don't understand where it comes from, but
No,
I think it's entitlement.
it's part of it's entitlement. Part of it's like they're literally looking for any excuse to say no, and they might just do it because they know a guy's out of their league. But if they're the one rejecting him, it saves their ego.
It's just so wrong, though.
So
It's just not right. I hate
that's the
that.
thing. They're going to pay for it in the long run. All you can do is cut loose these ties so that they don't drag you down and destroy you.
Yeah. Well, for me, I just want to make the right decisions and find the right man and make sure I find a man that will wait till marriage. Because I know, as you said, Yeetus, that there are girls that will just give up on the first day. So it's not really hard. And I know that men view it from that lens like, well, I don't need that person. But, you know, what are you supposed to do? Like, it just, yeah, that's what I'm worried about because, like,
You gotta
sexual
fall back on-
liberation made it
You got to
easier.
fall back on the old school traditions. Talk with your father. Make sure that he knows you're serious. It's going to take
know.
a while to get the vetting done, but aim to be married and start popping out a kid within the next 3 years.
Because
No.
the
5
big
years,
thing,
you got 5 years at most, and after that, your
I don't want to wait that
options-
long, but yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Like, your options get worse with every passing day. So you got to get on top of this, and your father's going to be the best gatekeeper because he's the one who's going to have your best interests, and he's also going to be the one to vet men most thoroughly.
why? Because he's a man. He can see things that you cannot see.
And also, Lucy, are you religious by any means?
No, not at all, actually.
Okay.
Church would have been a
Yeah.
secondary option for it.
Yeah,
Well,
people
I
get very
was-
surprised when they find out what I want, and they're like, "You don't follow religion." It's just yeah. But,
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's an excerpt from and I'm not trying to get you to be a Bible believer or anything along those lines, but when it comes to men who are Christian, men who understand the Bible and whatnot, there's a section known as Proverbs 31 where it describes essentially what a woman should be. You could give that a read if you'd like, but essentially the word husband in a biblical standard, I'm not trying to jam religion down your throat, but the word husband is to equate to her Lord, her master. So when you create yourself or put yourself in the best position to find the best suitable mate, this man should have so much power. He should be able to be your Lord, literally. So and I'm not saying to increase your standards to where you're so picky where you have to find a Superman, but this man should have the jewels and the tools to make anything happen, to literally be your Lord. And that's going to be the healthiest advice I could give you, not to make you a biblical Bible believer or jam religion down your throat. But we over here, we kind of look at the Bible as human nature documented over time. So if men decided that this type of woman, this Proverbs 31 woman, was the healthiest woman to have kids with and to have a family with, throw the stories of the religion out, but look at the human nature that they're describing there, that still holds or stands the test of time, more or less.
So, Lucy, pretty much, you need to find a man to the point where you're comfortable enough to show your femininity. You're willing to submit to that man, because if you're willing to respect and submit to him, I'm not saying, oh, he controls everything in your life, but if you're willing to let him take the reins and you're able to assist him from the side, your relationship will flourish. It will flourish. If you are willing to trust this man and able to be that right hand woman, I guess, and be able to assist him on achieving his goals and dreams, because if he wins, you all win, right? That relationship will it'll be successful. So it's I know it's a weird thing to say, oh, submission, how dare you? I'm not a slave. Blah, blah, blah. I know it's weird, but I'm telling you right now, if you're able to find a man that you're willing to let your guard down and actually be yourself and be feminine, and you let him take the reins of the relationship, and you trust him that he's doing the right thing for the betterment of the relationship and eventually family, it's going to be a very successful. Your relationship is going to be good. It's going to be real good.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
of
I
course,
agree.
don't get a sick boy, little nerdy geek. Now, of course, you're not going to take him seriously, but
Like,
you know.
No, I
Oh,
understand what
but
you mean, because I'm not the type of person that wants to like control the man or whatever. I just don't have that in my nature. I'll pretty much just, I'm sure we'll be on the same page anyway if we have similar values, because that's what I really look for, like similar values. He's willing to wait till marriage, similar beliefs to me. He doesn't have to believe everything of me. Like, it's okay to have differences, but if he is just not someone that's going to wait till marriage, someone that wants to do it and just isn't the type of person that wants marriage, I don't want that. I know there are a lot of like MGTOW people. I disagree with MGTOW, but I understand why there are men that are MGTOW. I just think there should be other solutions besides being MGTOW, for example. So
we tried literally every other solution.
I was just about to say that. Do you believe that these men tried everything to have a relationship or keep their marriage and stuff together, but they got completely burned by the divorce, family courts, the states, society in general? So the only option that they have for this this game is rigged, right? The society is rigged against men, at least in the United States, right? The best possible way to win is not to play. Don't play.
And then put on top of that the Me Too movement and the destructive capabilities of that. Like, when everything is on fire, you just leave. You don't try to put it out by spitting on it.
Yeah, a man literally. You guys are hearing about the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard situation, right? Her allegations alone completely, even though he's still a millionaire. Yeah, I get it, guys. Oh yeah, he's still a millionaire. I don't give a fuck, right? Because this can happen to any man. Luckily, Johnny Depp had enough money to get proper lawyers. He lost all of his prospects and his future movie roles. The media slandered him immediately. Disney cut him off. He lost pretty much everything. Just off of her lies. She lied. And do you think that anything is going to happen to her when it comes to going to jail? No. The best thing that he can do is sue for defamation. And like even then, there's a chance that Johnny Depp is not going to win. So what I'm trying to say is, how powerful a woman can be to just say, "Oh, he did this to me. He's a bad man." And that man is able to lose his livelihood, lose his job, lose his family, friends don't like him anymore. Society hates him. He can go to jail, or worse comes to worse, he can be killed, depending on that lie.
True.
And the
So,
other
what do you
thing
say,
beyond
Ray?
that is men's rights activists have been trying to change things for 100 years. 100 years of failure. If there's like, if like you cannot like MGTOW, we get that women don't like MGTOW, but
Yeah. It's not that
women
it's
are
not that
not offering another solution. There is no other solution a woman has offered that men have not already tried and has failed. So if you want to say no to MGTOW, you have to provide an alternative that can actually work.
Well, I don't think the solution, for example, is to pump and dump women and to basically contribute to the mess.
That's not
Um,
MGTOW.
That's not MGTOW.
Well, there are some men that do that. But like really,
Yes,
I
but
understand.
women, if the women, okay,
The
the
laws
women
need
that
to-
those men fuck are going to fuck someone. If not those men, they'll fuck someone else.
Okay, yeah. I think
Like, men do not control
MGTOW
sex. If a man says no to sex, another man will say yes. If the
Yep.
women aren't going to keep their legs closed, that is not a man's responsibility to say.
And that's the biggest thing that women need to, well, they refuse to understand, right? Men, we are the gatekeepers of relationships. We choose if we want to commit to you or not. You cannot physically force us to stay in a relationship unless, he signed that marriage contract.
Or there's a
Women,
legal loophole, which
or
there
legal
are in
loophole,
some
yeah.
countries.
Women are the gatekeepers of sex. They choose who they let into their pants. Okay, I'm talking in general.
Yeah, well, I understand what you mean. I just think that the men that are, sort of going for this route of not being with, a woman and
Yep.
just, I think the courts need to change. I think the
True.
marriage courts need to change because I know that, for example, in Islam, the way it's controlled, and I remember like the Bible, like when we lived in a Christian society in the UK before, divorce was hard, and then basically King Henry came and kind of changed all of that. But I think divorce is like very difficult to deal with. It's very expensive financially, and it's not right how it happened. It's not right that the woman can just take everything. So a lot of these women end up abusing the children too that they take, and it's not healthy for the child. And then they lie to the kid and say, "Your dad was abusive. Your dad was like this," and the kid grows up thinking its dad was actually a monster when that's not
Women
true.
are the ones who control the votes. They're the ones with the power to change it, and they're not going to.
But based on the information you know right now that we just told you, and what you just mentioned, you see why men are walking away, right?
Yeah, no, I do.
You can disagree, sure. Yeah, go ahead, disagree with it. But like what Grace said, what choice do a lot of these men have? The only people that are winning in this current dating market, once again, Chad and Tyrone. But all girls want Chad and Tyrone. So Chad and Tyrone are not going to take all these girls seriously because the demand of not demand, but the supply of punitis at an all-time high. When it comes to Chad Tyrone. Why would they take you guys seriously? Why would he settle down with one when he can have as many as he wants? So
think
when the women don't learn from that and they get burned and probably become a single mother, they want to blame the rest of us for a situation that she put herself in. Of course, men are going to walk away.
Yeah, but I understand that. But I think the problem with this is sexual liberation given to women. It should have never happened. There should have never been
Women, as of
I agree.
100 years ago, women became the majority of voters. They are the ones who have dictated all policy shifts ever since. Men did not vote for the sexual liberation of women. Women did.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the huge problem. That should have never happened because they think that they made it easy for themselves, but they didn't. They made it easier for men to basically take advantage and use them for sex. And the sad thing is that they're so like attached to that.
So when you say men, you mean Chad Tyrone?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Sorry. Yeah,
Okay.
these men.
Just fine.
Sorry. I thought they basically get with these Chads and Tyrones and Brads or whatever it is, and they end up just sleeping around, sleeping till they're, I don't know, 30 plus, and they keep doing it. And it's because of all this, like the society we're in. Because I think in other countries, like if a woman did that, she would be stoned or
But that's the thing. It's not that society told them to do it. They wanted to do it, and society just took the shackles off and said, do whatever you want. There is nothing stopping women from being virgins until marriage and then being housewives. This is what they want.
True. Facts. Based.
Lucy, when it comes to power, would you say that men inherently are given power via their excessive amounts of testosterone, and women are naturally the weaker vessel because their lack thereof, the abundance?
I think women are more of the nurturers, the emotional ones, and the ones that tend to basically they're there to look after kids, etc. I think the man is more like a lion. You know, he goes for the power, and he's the one with the testosterone. But unfortunately, I think the world powers or whatever, like they're trying to change that, and it's not good. Like giving women like the vote. Like I think in New Zealand, the prime minister there, she banned guns because of one attack. That's ridiculous. But yeah, I don't think women were made to be in these types of positions of power. Like I think the closest we're made for is maybe like just leading a nursery, really. But other than that, just we're not really made for those roles. Honestly, I wouldn't say that.
But here's why it's done. Because when they strip the power, specifically they strip the father out of the household, they strip the power away from men. The very few men at the top of society have more power over all of society because they can control the women through resources and media.
Yeah, I'm gonna read this right quick. And I'm gonna let producer Tim in a bit. Remember that women as a collective work against their best interests. True. Whenever they say they want something, they are depressed as hell when they get it. Also true. I've not in my life so far, I've heard a woman truly and sincerely say that they are happy and content with what they have.
That's not true.
It's a relationship that a drug dealer has with a crack fiend. The crack fiend is always going to chase that high, and this is the point that I was bringing up, Lucy. Men, since we are inherently given a natural steroid such as testosterone in abundance, we inherently have power. We don't lust and crave and desire for this huge amount, this surge of power our entire lives, because we wake up every day with the ability to get shit done to produce. Women, on the other hand, don't have that biological drive that we do. So if you give them some power, it's just going to be a temporary fix. Just like a crackhead who gets a really good hit, they're always going to be looking for the next hit, the next fix of power. And that's what feminism has effectively done. It's made the insatiable desires of women be put on the forefront, because I hate to say it, as much as you may want to disagree with us, we see women as insatiable creatures who have an unbeatable appetite. And the more that you feed these women, the more that you're going to be drained, the more of your life is going to be drained, because how can you satisfy something that's never satisfied?
Yeah. So I have a question for the men here. So all of you guys that are like Gray, Real Talk, Yeetus, so what is your solution? And if you were to look for a woman, what traits would you look for her? And how would you know 100% to not be screwed? Would you get a prenup if you were to get married, or
prenups can be thrown out based on the laws?
Yeah, marriage is out the window.
So
marriage in the West is completely doomed. So First of all, you have to find a country with appropriate with laws that are actually conducive to an environment,
But
and hope that
Gary,
it
I gotta
takes
stop you
feminism.
right now. Real talk.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I switch you with producer Tim right quick?
Oh no, go ahead. Yeah, I know Tim's got some hot fire.
Yeah, I'll let you back on.
No doubt.
So,
Producer Tim, what's going on, man?
So,
Lucy, ask that question one more time.
oh, I heard it.
Yeah.
So, what are the solutions? Understand that. Okay, so I'm coming over from another show, very similar, right? We're the MGTOW podcast, and we do talk. We are harsher on men than we are on women. Women who use simps for their money, clap, golf clap. Yes, use and abuse them. Take all their money because they deserve it for simping. That is your punishment for simping. All right. So understand that most men are simps. A lot of men are cucks. They're easy to spot because when you put men around attractive women, their true nature shows. They simps will start simping for a very attractive woman who is around them. Just give them any reason to, and that mask will fall right off. Now, you mentioned earlier about you dislike the idea that men pump and dump or use women like objects. But let me ask you something. What would you use a towel for?
Well, what I meant by, men, I meant the men that are these Chads, Tyrones, and I also meant like some of the guys that are MGTOW that have like gotten their muscles and are now like, okay, I've worked out, now I can do this and that.
Yeah, so first of all, MGTOW are the mostly represent the group of men who are like, I'm not going to pursue women, right? I'm looking for that, what we call the unicorn. And I'll explain that in a second, but I think you're referring to pickup artists, the PUAs. So these are the people who were like, yeah, man, here's how you slay like 100 women in one weekend.
Oh.
Yeah. So they have a similar message, right? Get fit, get rich. But let me ask you something. If money meant something, why is Jeff Bezos divorced? Why is Bill Gates divorced?
Yeah.
If money meant anything, why are the three richest men on this planet, one of them is multiple divorced? So the pickup artists we also criticize because they are leading men down the false path. Then there are people like Jack Murphy, who I'm sure you've heard Yeetus make fun of a lot, right? Who pretend to be like this pro-male, like self-help guru, and he's out pawning his wife off to Matt from Tinder. So there's a lot of people who lead men down the wrong path. And I mean, Yeetus and Chronic and Drexel and I over at MGTOW, we're especially harsh on the men who lead men down the wrong path. So, so the pickup artist, I think, is who you're referring to when you're doing the, the Chad and Tyrone comparison, smashing 100 women every weekend. So, getting, to be crass, getting your dick wet is not in itself an affront to the MGTOW philosophy. I posed before, what do you use a towel for? Clean up messes. What do you use a screwdriver for? You turn screws with them, right? So if the woman wants to objectify herself, then use her as the object.
Is that what you believe as well?
Yeah, so so the OnlyFans thoughts, right, who are busting it wide open for the entire world to see, is not valuable to men who are seeking a family. But what is her value, right? Her value is absolutely go over there, have a good time with her, play around, and then cool. I'll call you next weekend or whatever. And just don't do that. Right? That is the world that you introduced yourself to. That was the contract you signed when you signed up for OnlyFans. Your value is not going to be go to, I'm gonna wife up this OnlyFans model, dude. Like 100 million people have seen her insides. That's not something we
Ew.
men value.
Yeah. No, I understand. I guess it's different for men because they kind of want to. I just disagree with it because I don't want to sleep with so many men. So for me, it's like
And
I
yes,
guess I'm looking at it from my perspective, maybe because I'm a woman, and maybe it's different for a man. But for
it
me
actually is.
personally, yeah.
So
I
yeah,
just
men and women want each other for different things. And this is why your instincts, some women's instincts will lead them astray because they
do
will
you not?
say, here's what I value. And then
Yeah.
when they get it, they're miserable as hell. I'll give you a great example. A lot of women will say, I want my career. I want to focus on my career. I'm going to make money because I don't want to be
Um.
owned by a man. I don't want to have to rely on men for money.
Tim, but do you not worry about the men that have slept around and have a huge body count that their pair bonding would be smashed if they were with I guess they had that woman in their life, that submissive, feminine woman that they wanted? Don't you think that would deter the relationship with her? Or do you think, they would,
Biology. Oh, go ahead, finish.
or,
Sorry,
I've got
I
a
am limited on
oh
time,
no,
but
it's
I've
okay.
got the simple answer. The majority of divorces are initiated by women.
okay. So biology says that our pair bonding isn't equivalent. Women pair bond with the first man they slept with. Men always pair bond with the last woman they slept with. Do you understand the subtle difference there, right?
Little, but
Yeah. So what's going to happen is that men will always, especially men who cry over their relationships or cry over pussy, they don't talk about like, oh man, that first one I had was the best one, and they've all been downhill since. No, it's the last one I had was the best one. Why did I let her go? Whereas women pair bond with mostly with the first man they slept with, and then with less each time therefore until they lose the ability to completely. And so
yeah,
now the
it's
body
just
count, I understand that there are risks for men sleeping around, right? So you talk about STDs, you're talking about drama, crazy exes, Me Too, right? There's a lot of risk for men sleeping around. But at the same time, it's like, uh, that contract when you signed up for it. No man has ever said, "Man, I got this. I got the clap. If I'm gonna sue all the women I slept with for giving me the clap. How
oh
dare
no,
they? It's
what I
their
meant
fault."
what I meant was it's just like um the high body count that a lot of these men will have from that sleeping around history. Just like, wouldn't that make them, because the thing is, you could say that they will bond with the woman, but what if they feel like, oh, the sex was just the same, or if it was a virgin, oh, it was terrible. Like,
Keep
wouldn't
in
that
mind, you're talking about a single-digit percentage of men.
okay.
No, no. I do think that there is something to be said for holding yourself to a different standard. Now you got to understand why do men seek women, right? Men control access to relationships. Women control access to sex. And you have to understand a very strong distinction between those two items, right?
Yes.
So, men do value women for companionship. If that was not true, then anyone who owns a doll just would never, it would always be in the closet. They wouldn't form connections with their dolls.
I guess,
Um,
isn't a doll different to a human being, to like a
it
real physical woman though?
On a
it is.
chemical level, apparently not so much.
Oh,
I mean, it
really?
is physical level,
Yeah.
but the thing
Well, that's
is
the
that
thing. Like, if a man, well, sorry, Tim, I'll just say
yeah,
my spiel real quick. But yeah, a man, the pair bonding for a man is the chemical vasopressin, and that's what causes a lot of the like more fatherly, husbandly, caring aspect. It's the catching feels for a man that can be released with a doll. Like dolls
Oh,
can satisfy that itch in a way that less personal toys do not.
like men can even form bonds with porn stars.
Yeah, that's the
You-
thing. It's just like, I don't know. I would be so insecure if I was with a man who had a huge body count, or like just like for me. But it's not like I would say no to him. But still, it's like if he was good enough and
I
wanted
mean,
married, still.
what is huge to you, anyways? What number? Like if
Um,
I said 51 versus 49, would you be like, well, I'd take the 49 guy, but the 51's a little too much?
yeah, maybe 49. Because like even that number is huge. Like just thinking about the fact that people slept with so many people just kind of makes me nervous inside. But maybe I don't know. Maybe because I've never slept with anyone. So for me, it's like
So understand
yeah,
that some men will start sleeping with women around 15, 16,
yeah,
right? So when by the
or
time they're
younger.
20 years old, they've been perhaps having sex for 5 years. Um, uh, if the number is 49, that's an average. Hang on a second. That's an average of one every 5 weeks,
Yeah, it's
right?
just
Now, not saying how many times they have slept together, just the number of different women. So if this teenager's average relationship, remember, 5 weeks is, it's just over a month, and teenage love is quite fleeting. 5 weeks is actually a pretty long time for a relationship to last in high school. So when you stretch it out like that, it doesn't even seem that bad, huh? And then maybe the first time he arrived at college, he went to a party and got four girls' phone numbers and smashed them all in a week. Cool. That means the next 15 weeks he doesn't smash at all,
yeah,
right? So then you start kind of putting it into a calendar, and it's like, Meanwhile, the reason we have trouble with girls who have slept with a different guy every week is because by the time they're 26, that's 100 bodies.
yeah. It's just like
Now look at Jada and Will Smith. Jada still writes like love notes to a dead ex in Tupac.
For 25 years.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Tupac did not die yesterday. He's been dead a long time, and she still, because he was one of her first. I don't know if he was her first, but again, it goes to the fact that the earlier you sleep with a woman, that's the one she remembers. That's the one she forms the bond with.
Yeah, maybe because us women we're more emotional, and it's just like
Well,
biologically in us we get attached. That's why you have to be so careful. I feel like as a girl to who you lose your virginity to, and like have some standard, have some self respect for yourself, and not just
Uh,
sleep with a good looking
like
man.
what
Or.
like what Francesco said. After your first, you will always compare the rest of the men to your first. Always. You
Well,
will
and this
compare all
is
of them.
here's a statistic to put this in perspective. For
Gray.
virgins, so for virgins,
Wait, Gray, hold up.
wait, is this
Tupac
not
never
coming
banged her? No, I can hear you, Gray. Tupac never banged her? Bullshit.
through?
Who who cries, who brings up names, who write letters, who tells their daughters about a man to the point where her own daughter that wasn't even alive at that point is writing notes to Tupac. They
yeah,
fucked. I don't care.
yeah. Anyways, even if they didn't, the point still stands that the earlier relationships still form those physical bonds. It could be your first kiss. Women always remember their first kiss.
Well, then the other thing is with divorce rates, a virgin woman will divorce her husband 20% of the time. Add
Damn.
one prior to the body count, and that goes up to 38%.
Hmm.
And
One
once you get to
prior.
5, you're already like, all right, well, this ain't gonna work.
That's
Now
the
you're
thing.
more likely than not to end up
Yes.
divorced.
Yeah, by the time it gets to 3 bodies, you have a majority chance of the woman divorcing the man. So, but that's the thing. Like that's the difference between 1 and 0 bodies is basically twice as likely for there to be a divorce.
Now, there's something I wanted to, before I head out of here, there's something I wanted to bring up too. A good example of women working against their own interests is I guess it's the name for this is called hybristophilia. it's the attraction that women have to, quote, the bad boy or the thug lifestyle. And this explains why women will stay in domestic abuse situations. Um, and it is clearly, I mean, no man should ever hit a woman, right?
Yeah.
But I think we can all agree on that one.
Yes.
Any man that needs to hit a woman to assert dominance is weak by nature.
Men should never be put in positions where they are forced to hit women either.
No, I don't mean that. That's not what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but the distinction needs to be made.
Well, no, women should never hit men either.
Yes,
I
but
don't think anyone should ever hit anyone. You should hit kids.
Yeah, okay. But the big thing is, I agree with producer Tim that if you, as a man, had to literally intentionally like fucking throw hands with a woman just to assert dominance, you're weak as fuck in my eyes.
Yeah.
You know,
I've known men who do this, and they are weak because they back down the minute someone tries to stand up to them.
yeah, there's a difference of defending yourself. I agree, but if you just go out of your way to put your hands on a woman because, oh, I'm the man around here. It's my house, but you're the lowest on the totem pole, or one of the lowest,
Yeah.
because there's no way. See, if she has to, if you forcing her to submit to the point out of fear, I mean, like complete fear for her life, that relationship is already done. She's gonna end you herself, or she's just gonna run off. That's usually how it ends.
Yeah, and then the hate fucking comes in. All right,
well,
final,
well,
and I'm gonna end on a good note. I'm gonna end on a positive note. So I think you're probably wondering, okay, so how do I meet men? How do I meet guys? And how do I vet them? Understand that you cannot. This is not a job for one person alone, and you should have someone whose advice that you would trust and rely on, and they will help you vet men. They will, because you'll have blinders, right? You have a desire to build a family. You have a desire to be a good woman. So you're going to have blinders for the first man that checks most of the boxes, and you're going to miss the red flags. So rely on that person that will give you good advice. I mean, using men to vet other men, I guess it's not the same. It's not as good as using men and women to vet other men. Women have some of the best bullshit detectors on this planet. I'm going to tell you. You can tell when guys are lying.
Yeah, but keep in mind though, like a lot of women will sabotage a woman and destroy the relationship with a good man as well.
That's
Well, yeah,
true.
again, this is someone that you have vetted and you say, I can rely on their advice. They've given me good advice in the past. I can rely on their advice in the future.
I just
right?
wouldn't. This sounds really like offensive, but I wouldn't trust a woman's advice with a man because honestly, the women I've met, like when I genuinely try and give good advice to some girls, they don't want to listen to me. But then there are
Yeah.
girls like with men that want to give me bad advice. One girl told me it's okay.
I tried being
go and
fair.
experiment because you're young, and I was like, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna do that. No.
Yeah.
Well, I tried to be fair, but yeah, nothing you said was incorrect. But anyways, and so in terms of where to go fishing for the men, the bar is probably the worst place to do it.
No,
'Cause that's where you
absolutely not.
find the simps. I find that taking up hobbies is a good way to meet men who have stuff in common with you. You have something to talk about. Because you got to remember, once you stop having sex every 4 minutes, you're going to have to live with this person for the other 23 hours and 56 minutes of the day. Right? So, if there are things that you can talk about with each other, that's always a positive. For example, my girlfriend and I both love hiking outdoors. That's how we have built our friendship over the years. That's how we've built, well, the relationship we have now is that we will go out on these awesome, epic hiking and camping trips.
That's good, yeah. That's really good. Congratulations. I guess like in the UK, it's just a lot harder because a lot of the men here are, as I said,
Cucked.
feminists and cucked. Yeah.
They're cucked.
I'm planning
I
to
imagine
leave
you're
anyway. I want to
imagine
go
you're in
to
the
America.
city, right?
Yeah, that's the thing, is there's not a lot of rural country out in England. North England, you might still find some of the I don't know.
I
You
feel
might
like they're
still
less
find.
in America. They're not in Britain. They must be in
Well,
America.
remember, America has California.
Yeah.
Oh no!
But
The thing is, you're going to need to learn how to provide for yourself as well while you go through this vetting process. It's not something that's going to happen in 1 month. So wherever you move to, you will need to pay the bills, pay the rent, and just generally provide for yourself.
Yeah.
So I mean, that means that you'll have to get a job, which means you have less time for the dating market because now you're working a job.
Yeah.
If you're educated or if you're skilled in a trade or whatever, that makes that process a lot easier. However, if you're not educated, that means that you'll be settling for less wages.
Yeah. I mean,
Moving out to like rural cities, like less than 100,000 people, that's a good way to kind of lay down some roots and get established. The housing prices are very reasonable. The rent's going to be very reasonable. They always need people working jobs. You can make a pretty honest living doing pretty simple jobs. Hotel maids, in the service industry.
I was like,
Even
service
just
industry,
doing arts and craft.
Like service industry outside of outside of the bar, like the restaurant scene, perhaps. Well, it's not perhaps the most stable industry right now, but like at the very least, if you had that kind of job, then you could like meet the locals, per se.
yeah. I mean, I'm currently a student, but I'm only in school for like 4 weeks and a bit. Got my exams, and then I
What are
really
you
want
taking?
to. It's just my A levels. It's different here.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry.
I kind of understand, but it sounds like the equivalent to Quebec's CGIP.
It's just a level 3, and I'm a level 2, but I didn't do so well in school. It was never my niche. I just have my GCSEs, which is like level 2. I don't know what you say, maybe
Yeah.
high school, secondary school, and trying to get my level 3 because I didn't really do so well 2 years ago in school, so I had to. Because normally I would have been like 18 and just gone off to uni, but I never wanted to, so I retook the year because I'm trying to get it, but I don't have any intention to use it. Maybe for TEFL, but I don't even want to have a career or progress in it. I just want to settle down and get married, to be honest.
And finally, one of the best part of the internet is that people who feel like they're alone on an island, they're unique or at least rare, can find each other. And through Maketown Podcast, we know someone who's very similar to yourself, a 19-year-old American woman who is very concerned about wanting to start a family the right way. Right? She's never had a boyfriend or slept with anyone before. And
Oh wow.
yeah, I mean, you will find people who are similar to you, and you can build groups that way. So, reaching out through these channels is a good way to build that community.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll find you're not as alone as you think you are. You may be the only one in your city, but you're not the only one in the world.
Oh no, I agree. There
So,
might be another me in, I don't know, Northern Ireland or in Scotland or Wales. I'm just not going to know that. But
and we did something, one of our live streams, I think it was on Valentine's Day. I forget, but we did what's called a unicorn stream, and we had we had women who have not they have not been ran through. One of them has a current boyfriend who she's very committed to. She loves cooking for him. She loves cleaning for him. She takes care of the house while he goes and works.
oh, bless
Right.
her.
So, and we introduced her to our American woman who is still looking for a boyfriend. And they had an excellent conversation. We actually we were making fun of Drexel most of the time because of his terrible taste in or because of how bland his house is, right? You know, you always want like throw pillows or a couple of pictures or wallpaper hanging up on the walls. And his place looks like a jail cell. It's just plain white walls.
Shit, that's all you need.
Yeah, again, men are different than women, right? Drexel has a Switch and he plays video games on it. He loves video games. And he's very good at them too. So I mean, that's okay. A blank white room with a TV and a Nintendo Switch is what he values in life.
Aw. Someone just said in this chat she feels like an alien among chimps. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but it's pretty funny.
Lol. But yeah, I got to get rolling here. I have to be somewhere in an hour or so. But I hope the what I've said is helpful. It helps you readjust your perspective on kind of no one here is the enemy of women. This is what people like Jack Murphy say about the MGTOW community. It's like, oh, they just hate women. Oh, they're all incels, right? They can't get a lady, can't get a woman. How dare you judge an OnlyFans thought? It's like, no, actually, we just know that. You've heard of Candace Bushnell, right? The creator of Sex and the City. She's
No,
crying
I've never
over
watched it.
Okay, that's probably a good thing. But
Wow.
she's crying over a tub of ice cream right now because her eggs are all dried up and no one values her. No one wants her.
Oh,
And she says, why did I focus on my career? I wanted a family. Right? We see that and we say we never wish that upon any other woman.
sorry. Yeah. I've heard something about the creator and what she felt. It's like with Emma Watson, like in school, they used to promote her to us so much.
Oh, she looks horrible now.
I
Have you seen her?
know!
She hit the wall so Yeetus. You got to look up Emma Watson's pictures now, man. She hit the wall so hard, I think the wall backed over her.
Yeah, I shared the video on not video, the photo on Chronic Stream.
Oh man,
yeah,
the wall was unkind to her. So, but we don't
Oh,
want women to have those regrets, and we try telling them, hey, these are the decisions that will avoid that regret, and they say, no, you're being misogynist, feminism, my rights.
My teachers used to always compare Emma Watson, say we should be more like her, and now she's like the most miserable. It's crazy.
Yep.
Hold on, the doorbell.
She's swallowing a bottle of Xanax every night, depressed as hell. And we see this and we're like, we don't want that future for women. We want the future where the family court is fair. We want the future where you can build loving families. And that, one day she doesn't decide, you know what, fuck this family, I'm getting a divorce. And then she gets everything. She gets the kid, she gets the money, she gets the house, she gets the car. That's the world we want. And we're like, but that is not the world we're in today. And so the best thing we can do is, maybe it's too late for those of us in our 40s, but the best thing we can do is look to the 20-year-olds and say, look, learn from the mistakes of others. You won't live long enough to make them all yourself.
Exactly. Pass on the information. That's pretty much what we're doing.
That is why you ever look for meaning in life. You ever want to know, okay, why am I here? What is my purpose in life? Procreation is the biological imperative, but that's a selfish imperative. That's like, oh, my legacy. That's a very selfish thing to say. Your children are not extensions of you. They're their own people. So that's the same attitude that has like these child beauty pageants, right? And these overweight, like 45-year-old moms that are like, I was beautiful in high school, but I never got to be a beauty pageant. So now my daughter will be one. That's that attitude. No, the reason we exist is for the creation and the spreading of information. Dissemination, I guess, would be the best term. The creation, dissemination of information. That is our purpose. To pass what we have learned to the next generation. You don't need kids to do that.
Nope. I definitely agree with that. And that's what a lot of
Hit you with some heavy stuff.
That
was some heavy stuff. Holy shit.
It is, but that's why women get confused. They're like, "What do you mean you don't want a kid? What do you want no kids? How you gonna be alone?" And blah blah. See, this is where you are. This is where the wall comes up. The disconnect between men
I'm
and
back
women.
now. Sorry.
Oh,
Hey, what's going on? That's the disconnect between men and women right there. Women be like, "Oh, what do you mean you don't want to have kids? What do you mean you don't want to get married?" Blah blah blah. Listen, we are content with a family or not. Yeah, it might be lonely at times. Yeah, it might suck, but in the end, men are way more likely to be fine by themselves.
highlight Francesco's comment about Metal Gear 2.
Do you,
Yeah.
Yes.
about
Metal Gear Solid 2 is an amazing video game for that reason. They predicted all of this, right? When you know, the AI GW Colonel Campbell is talking to Raiden about, you don't deserve your speech because you have used and abused it. So that we exist to filter information. Did they not predict all of this?
No,
They did.
Kojima definitely had his ear on the inside for a lot of the Metal Gear games.
Yeah. So yes, awesome comment there. I'm glad someone picked up on that. No, they're not, these thoughts are not my original thoughts, but you know, look at Kentaro Miura, right? Beloved creator of Berserk, who passed away so suddenly and yet was beloved by millions. I think I would go ahead and say millions, have at least, because Berserk has been the inspiration for so many other properties that have come after it. And yet, do you think the moment that he died, he knew the end was coming, and he's like, but at least I left my mark on the world? Or was he more proud that he had a story to tell, and that people today will tell his story? They may not even never know his name, but
Yeah, he knows
they
that,
tell his story.
His work is going to live for generations to come.
Yeah, top
Okay.
5 easy. So anyways, I've been hitting with all this heavy shit here, man. But yeah, I mean, understand where we come from in this. This is, we want the world to be better, and we are actively working to promote a better world. It sounds like someone unplugged their mic.
Yeah.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, you good? Are you wrestling with a bear? What's going on?
My mic's just so terrible. I was gonna say that I have to go, but it was really great talking to all 3 of you, and thank you so much.
Well,
Of
best
course.
of luck.
Oh, good.
'Cause, yeah, it's not an easy world out there, and you've definitely chosen a difficult path, but a worthwhile one.
You
Yep.
will find the women I know who are the happiest, right? So Yeetus will know who this is, right? Nick Rekida's wife. The women I know who are the happiest have raised a loving family, have married a man who provides for them security, financial resources, and they do things together as a couple, as friends. So these are the women I know who are the happiest. The women who are the unhappiest are the ones who, I'm going to focus on my career. Those are the unhappiest women I know.
Like I said before, they have a career, 40 years old, single, no kids. They're the most unhappiest group.
All right.
Did she just yeet?
I got it. Yeah. Yeah, she.
But
anyways,
what's going on,
put me
Tim?
in, you white bone master. All right, a monster. All right,
How
Yeetus,
dare you.
I gotta step out too. But thanks for letting me in. Awesome,
All right,
awesome
man.
show as always. Also, you know, you can check out Maketown Podcast, youtube.com/Maketown Podcast. Rishi's not a real mushroom. Stay frosty, everyone.
All right, peace out, man. Ooh, that was a lot of people. Okay, let's start adding these guys. Your last bunch of.
Hello,
All right.
hello.
Hello, what's going on, y'all?
Single town. Let's get some Roadrunner sounds.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Now
Can
we have
you
our
hear it?
other British, we have our main British correspondent here now. So
Yeah.
That's, which one? Me or the other guy?
Well, carry on. What is
Well,
your
replicant fish still hasn't showed, so
Oh, fuck you guys. I don't want to sound like it that much.
I'm gonna get replicant fish on here eventually. Just watch.
Ooh.
But he knows who I am. Like he's the one that pretty much inspired me to create the character anyway, when he used all the Skeletor memes. But carry on, what's your perspective on the topic today? You know, whether it's the Lucy girl or Simps enabling bad behavior.
Dude, I love Simps, man. Simps. Oh, man. They just make the ball go around. Without Simps, there wouldn't be no OnlyFans girls. There wouldn't be no Twitch. I'm just saying, without Simps, there wouldn't be any hoes. So, praise Simps. I'm just saying. But honestly,
True or false?
Simps do. They condone such actions, even if they don't purposely outgoingly say it. It's because every time a woman will do something stupid that will damage someone or damage herself, these guys will be there like, "Oh, it's fine. I'll try and save you. You did nothing wrong." It's like, or they'll do something dumb, like a woman that's like put soup. What's it? Gorilla Glue in her hair? Like, who's paying for that? Who's literally paying so she can get that fixed? It's men and women, and no guy that actually has respect for himself would waste their money that they wasted their time and their lifespan on for a stupid woman who put Gorilla Glue in her hair.
Oh yeah, I remember that chick.
It's about meep meep. Get out of really get out of
any
town.
bad decision that they make. Right,
Because
any bad
when a
decision,
woman,
like two examples. Once again, shout out to Poor Men Podcast. First example, a woman that literally lied about being a single mother of 3 that wasn't even her kids, that she had thousands.
Oh yeah, I
of dollars
remember that one.
yeah,
And on top of that, like you said before, carry on, Gorilla Glue girl. How stupid, dumb you have to be, or she did it on purpose to put Gorilla Glue in your fucking hair.
the fun thing or worse about the woman who made up the 3 kids that wasn't hers. Did she get jail time for doing that?
Think so.
If it was a guy, it would be like the Tinder guy who took out the girls.
Tinder
money.
swindler.
Yeah. It's like what are women doing all the time, 24/7, 365? This exact same thing, and it is, it is what we are equal, right? So that's one of the things that really bothers my mind. It really does, because if we are equal, then the system should not be rigged. But we know how when that will change, it will be when we are dead and buried, all of us. It ain't happen.
We know it's not going to change, but I don't see it as a bad thing now. I think I just accepted reality how it is, and I don't fuck around with like shit like that because I don't care enough right now. But if I was, like, I'm not gonna say I would never do something like that, but if I was, I wouldn't see it as a bad thing. It's like if someone's gonna throw used up pussy around.
Simp Harry?
I'm not gonna simp for that because it's used. And even if it wasn't used, I still wouldn't simp for that. Like, I have to have my integrity. I'm not going to become a flipping Looney Tunes character and start going ballistic for pussy. Like,
You never ever simp, no matter what. I don't care. I don't care.
No,
if
it's
she
just like the
is-
NPC. Fred,
I'm just saying, I don't care if she's a Virgin Mary. All right. don't simp.
Nope.
All right, because her puniti would dry up like the Sahara Desert immediately, so it wouldn't matter. Where's the Come on, god damn it! But regardless, it's laughable on how they have all these privileges in society today, yet they still claim that they're the most oppressed.
Yeah.
Like,
What's your privilege?
how out of touch can you be? How narcissistic can you be? How delusional can you be that you have one of the best privileges, not only in the world, but literally in the history of mankind, and you still claim that you're a victim?
Well, that's because they how do I say it? They live through their ancestors. Let's say that they do some Assassin's Creed bullshit. They live through their ancestors' past life. Like, oh my days, these men were tormentors. Oh no, it happened to me. It happened to my great grandma. My great grandma was abused by this crazy guy that was drunk and doing some bullshit. But yeah, every woman around the world throughout history was abused. Like, really, every woman throughout history was abused.
I don't believe that.
The strong victim.
But that's the biggest thing. I'm like, in today's society, you can open up your legs and make hundreds of thousands of dollars, possibly millions. Yet you blame the very same men that gave you money because nobody wants to date you. It's just weird. It's just the gaslighting has gone so out of control in society these days. It is out of control with, oh yeah, I am the most heinous Jezebel 304. I don't care. I was popping that puniti throughout the neighborhood. I'm known as a neighborhood bicycle. But you, the person with the XY chromosomes, is your fault. But woman, I don't know you. Shut up. You're a man. You ain't shit. But you chose to sleep with all these men. You chose to open up your legs for the whole world to see online. You chose to go to college and bury yourself up to debt and not willing to pay that debt back. The debt, the loan that you signed for. How is it my fault? It's because you're a man.
Yeah, Lucy brought up a huge gaslighting point that I think everybody on the panel has experienced at one point or another. And that's the men's pair bonding. And what's crazy is timing didn't work out, but I have a real world experience that validates the microchimerism or microcamerism, where the fragments of all the thuggos and all the bad boys, the Chads, the Brads, the Juans, the Mohammeds, the Ahmeds that are floating around. Yeah, that are floating around in this creature's mind, because they have actually examined the skull of deceased women and found men's DNA up in there. But nevertheless, I had a creature. I pretty much like told her about microcamerism, and she's like, I've always talked with my friends, and we've all kind of admitted that we have behavioral traits and patterns of all like the bad boys that we talk to. Like, she admitted this to me. I couldn't make this shit up. I'm talking about, we're both like butt ass just got done smashing. I just like, when the truth comes out after, you get a bitch to release, you can pretty much talk about anything, and she'll talk about her deepest, darkest secrets. Like, they talk about never pillow talk with a woman. You can let a woman pillow talk with you once you have her vulnerable enough. And I got her right in the position to admit to this shit. So this talking point that men and women are equal as far as the sexual imprints goes, they have an innie, we have an outie. That's not a self-cleaning oven. So for them to always claim that we could have this pair bonding issue, our love hormones are different. Theirs gets worn out when it's very, very difficult for ours to get worn out. Even John Anthony fucking the roach that lived the goddamn nuclear holocaust styles, even he can probably pair bond with a creature.
Oh no,
even if he has
did.
that.
He did.
Yeah,
he loves that woman that he's with right now.
He gave her a fake chest and all that, but that's what I'm saying is even he can pair bond. even if his count is correct, even a guy like that can pair bond. So I can't
It's sad.
stand that fucking gaslighting, especially when it comes to our sexual experiences. Nah, creature, we're not equivalent. Men are supposed to be polygamous, or polygyny, multiple badges. That's what we're designed for. You're not meant to have multiple D's running through there.
Well, that's
No,
because
not at
there's
all.
many, like men are more likely to die just in nature. So it's way more beneficial to have a male be able to repopulate as much as possible.
Honestly,
We
no,
will-
much simpler reason. If you have two daddies with the same group of kids, you're going to have the kids from only one daddy by the end of it.
Pretty much. But we're going to talk about that sometime tomorrow or Friday. Who really had it worse throughout history, men or women? I'm definitely going to talk about that in the next stream. It's going to be pretty funny because it's going to counteract all the victimhood that women love to throw around. Okay, yeah, but women have problems too. Yeah, I know women have problems too, but not in the magnitude of men.
I think
So
according
you
to
just-
YouTube.
So you just
What?
ask anybody who has a blue and yellow stand by Ukraine and tell them, okay, if you want to change the things, go to Ukraine and pick up a gun. You probably wouldn't see anybody of those like blue check marks, blue and the yellow check marks do that. No.
Well, they
are
expect you to
happening a
go
lot of
in
time.
and do it instead, or they want you, not them. You,
Yeah, I know.
Ray, carry on, real talk, me.
Well,
They want
wait,
to go-
hey, I ain't going.
Hold up, carry on. That's what I'm saying. They want to talk all this stuff. Say you want to invade, We need to go over there and save them. And then you
Okay.
need to think back. Like, what do you mean we? What
Okay,
do you
okay.
mean by that? Because
Yeah, I agree with Yeetus 100%, but nothing. I'm just gonna copy Yeetus.
Yeah,
but it's
I
like,
got the.
what do you mean we? What do you mean? Explain. Because if you're talking about me going over there, no.
I got
You can
the
go.
best counter. I got the best counter for that. When they say we, say what's his name? They're gonna be like, what are you talking about? The mouse that's in your pocket.
But but hey, guys, I do have to go right away. Something came up, so thank all you guys for joining. This was a pretty good stream. Hopefully, guys, you rewatch. Thank you everybody for donating today. That donated, and I'm definitely going to be doing a stream tomorrow or Friday, and it will be about veganism or who had it worse, men or women. No, we still have to have that vegan date, not vegan date, that vegan debate. We need to still have that because I know that I think the Arthur or Arnulfo, I forgot his name, he wanted to debate about veganism. So we're definitely gonna try to set that up. But
Saturday, I'm gonna eat some steak.
well, that's what I'm about to do. But
Well, my
Thank
brother
you.
has a birthday, so yeah.
thank you
Something on the
everybody
grill.
for listening in. Thank you everybody. This is Sir Yeetus. Hopefully you guys got a lot of gems today, and we are out. Peace.
Yeet.
Peace out.
Uniti.
Unity.
Okay, I'm still here.
I'm out.
But,
Peace.
okay, in all seriousness, peace.